Hello, everyone. It's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at True Heel Heat. Yeah.
This is the knockout artist, Chris Hero. And if you're looking for some true heel heat, you better listen to them boys.
Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat YouTube and Facebook for NJPW Dominion 2023 Roundtable Review. We are here to discuss the huge show from New Japan Pro Wrestling from Osaka Joe Hall. And boy, oh boy, was it a newsworthy show as the start to the Forbidden Door kicked off on this show, as well as multiple, I think 6 in total, championship matches. As usual, when we're here talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling, we have the master of ceremonies for NJPW right here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. Here's your boy, J News.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's your good brother J News, and I'm back at it again. Oh man. Yesterday was such a day. It was such a day. It was a glorious day for some of us New Japan fans who just knew the Tsuji shock was not coming. We just knew. The Tsuji shock was not coming, and it wasn't going to go down that way. A couple of other shocks, or should I say reveals, we did actually predict, so that was cool. One was definitely a surprise, to say it on the least, and one was something that the wrestling gods blessed us with. So that I have to say about that. I think and I'm going to toot my horn here for a minute. I think from a prediction standpoint.
God, can we introduce everybody else on the show before you start tooting your horn? Jesus Christ, you're just like Gato, that freaking coward. Gato's a coward. He should have saw. He had a moment to make a superstar on one night. He could have done it, but he wasn't Big Balls Gato, the nickname I gave him. He wasn't BBG. But we do have someone who usually joins us for these big NJPW shows, and she is back refreshed from a vacation. She saw Dominion, came back to the glorious that was the show from yesterday morning, and now she's back with us here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. It is Sonal. Welcome back, Sonal.
Thank you for having me. I was like, oh, this is going to be some stuff to talk about. I had to miss the Best of Super Junior final live because I was in Italy for an entire week. Got back, watched that, was treated with beautiful Dominion show. I mean, everything happened during that show. They threw everything and the kitchen sink into it.
They definitely did. Like, they were not I was talking to somebody on social media in like the DMs, and I was just like, every matchup had something that left you with like a cliffhanger to kind of come back to New Japan and keep watching, whether it was a setup for a match at Forbidden Door, whether it was a new stable member to a particular faction, whether it was a new feud kicking off. It left you with something to come back to.
It was people very worried that LIJ abandoned Tsuji, but actually they didn't. They just waited at the top.
I know the way it looked like Naito was just like, young lions, just help him. I'm over this. He let me down. I was with it though. I was here for it. I was here for it if that was the route they were going.
I mean, I won't be surprised. You know what Naito's like? He's probably like, you tried. Try somewhere else.
He's like, go to another stable, try it there. But yes, we are here to discuss NJPW Dominion 2023. Want to thank you all if you are joining us live, watching us on demand. We appreciate you all. Show that appreciation back by dropping the thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, if you're with us live, sound off in the live chat, whether you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube. We love to interact with all of you, hear your thoughts for the Dominion show. So we'll try to highlight as many comments as possible. But if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you can send a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters, and we will highlight your comment on screen. And like I said, it helps the channel grow. We got here in the chat Armand with us. We got Dan saying good morning, y'all. We got Dustin hitting the do you guys want to talk about? What do we want to talk about? There's a lot to talk about from yesterday's show. Vala B says it was a glorious day indeed. He also says Tsuji didn't shock, but he left us in awe. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
I mean,
Future main eventer.
I feel like it's like he just almost, people were shocked. And I think people who have followed him since he was a young lion, and when I followed him here in the UK watching him live, I sort of expected some sort of amazement. But it's the way that people were tweeting me like, oh, what should I expect from Tsuji? And I'm like, well, this is what you expect. But you have to see it to believe it.
You have to see a guy that size do the things he was doing. He might have the most impressive moveset in wrestling after one match. And I love the story they tell, and we'll get more into it when we get to the main event of just SANADA not knowing what he had in store for him, what he had in the arsenal. We had Frantic World saying, good morning, everyone. That NJPW Dominion pay-per-view was so good. Bullet Club is back, and we'll get to that.
I mean, I have some grievances there. I will.
We gotta hear to these two fiddly haters. We gotta hear from these two. Dustin saying the show flowed so well. It definitely did. We got Nero Buck who says SANADA smoking on that Tsuji pack right about now. Come on, you're just feeding into Jay News's nonsense.
No, but did you not see at the end of the match? I swear Tsuji winked at SANADA.
He did.
He did. There was a fighting going on.
When SANADA said, work on yourself and come back and get another shot, he winked at him like with the big smile on his face. This man has charisma. He gets charisma pouring for his pores. Oh my God. Armand saying if a person is new to True Hill Heat, they are living under a rock. Indeed. One of the only few places that talk about New Japan as often as us. There ain't that many, except for Sonal's Life and True Hill Heat. That's where the coverage comes from on YouTube when it comes to New Japan Pro Wrestling. John Elite saying Bullet Club just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Will they ever stop growing?
No.
Who knows?
They're going to end up outnumbering the entire New Japan roster.
It's true. It's so true. And oh my God, you guys are popping me with these comments. Yes, Vala V, the goddamn cartwheel out of the deadfall. That was, oh my God. I was like, crown him right now. End the match. The match is over. Crown him right now. This man.
He is the wrestler of the year.
Wrestler of the year already locked up for Tsuji. Frantic Girl saying I didn't know anything about Tsuji, but now I want to watch more of his matches now. I mean, everybody should. But yes, we got a lot to get into. But as we start off every roundtable review here on the channel, I'll start with Jay News. Give us your one word to give your overall thoughts on NJPW Dominion 2023.
One word. I would say revealing would be the word to use for me. Yeah, man, we got a lot of stuff revealed. We got a lot of stuff uncovered. And yeah, man, we're walking on our way to the Forbidden Door. A young man during this event took another step closer to being a grandmaster, even though he lost his match. So that was good to see. And yeah, man, ELP. I need me some definitive backup for the homie. I don't know where it's going to come from. I have my dream of where it should come from, but I don't know where it's going to come from. So we'll see as to what boils down to. Revealing is the word that I would use.
And we did get some reveal of maybe the route he's coming to if you paid attention during the post match to that match, which we'll get into. Sonal, your one word to describe Dominion.
Future. Because New Japan, as much as people, and I even saw it on Reddit, people say, oh, why are people like Tanahashi still wrestling? I think, but New Japan is pushing the future of the company. Whether it was having 3 former Young Lions in the top 3 spots. So obviously it was meant to be, I guess you could say, Wato and Tsuji in the main event and semi-main event, because of card changes that changed. But Shota was still there. They, as JNU said, the revealing of new faction members, pushing the young members of the roster. New Japan is really, I'm not going to say it because it sort of seems like they weren't doing it before, but they are really looking to the future and establishing who they want to go forward and the storylines that they're going to pursue.
Yes, the 2 words that I think of, and it kind of piggybacks off of what Sonal's saying here, is first transition. It felt like a very transitional type of show where you still have the old guard there, you still have kind of the present top stars, but you can see the future, and it's very bright, and it's not slowing down. It's coming near you. It's like a truck, and you're standing in the road, and you think it's far away, but then every time you look, it's closer and closer. The future's about to hit New Japan very hard, very fast, and hype. Because I just felt hyped about New Japan after this show, because I was like, okay, this is going on over here. This is going on over here. This guy had a great performance. This guy had a great performance. The future is coming. So yeah, I would say hype and transitional is my 2 words to describe Dominion 2023. And speaking of the future, before the show went live on New Japan World, there was another one of these battle for the meat. Sonal and J News as the Young Lions battled. This time it was Asuka Lobe going through the Young Lion gauntlet, going one-on-one with first Roy Uya, going to a time limit draw with Rohei, then Bolton Oglin, he went to a time limit draw with that big meaty man, and then finally he versed Yuta Nakashima, and he actually lost to the Fro Young Lion, to Yuto making him tap with his variation of the Boston Crab. How dare you, Lobe? You should have got the meat. Kevin Kelly and Chris Colton were very, very hungry. Any thoughts on Yuta Nakashima, who me and J News have said is at the bottom of the Young Lion class? I don't know about you, Sonal, but what do you think about Nakashima being the one to beat Lobe here?
2 things. 1, I am gutted this was not aired. I said the same about the last one. I love to see these Young Lion matches. And 2, yeah, when I saw the results, I was like, Yuto, because I think we've discussed it on the thing that he basically had the worst New Japan Young Lion debut in probably the history of Young Lion debuts. Like, I think he's probably should have been one of the oldest in this crop, but really, like you said, has gone down to the bottom. So hopefully they're going to do, I feel like compared to the other 4, even like Oleg and Oscar, I've not found a character with him yet or a personality. So yeah, he's picking up wins. We're seemingly going somewhere, but I need to see something because, like, yes, I know that Oiwa and Fujita are sort of higher up, and we've got Fujita in TMDK. But I even feel like Oscar Lube is really giving me something with his personality, something that Yuto has not yet done. And I'm worried that he's going to be left behind a bit too much.
Yeah, Asuka's also been featured on All Japan Pro Wrestling a few times as well. So he's getting some pull and some play over there. Any thoughts on the battle of the meats and our non-boy Nakashima getting the win here, J News?
I mean, they needed to give the kid something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at the end of the day, it's like Sonal said, the dude has no personality. He does not stand out at all. I don't understand, and it might sound harsh, it might sound a little off-putting, but I gotta say it. I'm not too understanding of what it is that certain Japanese folks have with the fro. It's
Yeah.
it just I'm not I don't understand it, but it is what it is. Style is style, and it just doesn't suit him. For me, it just doesn't suit him.
But it was almost overnight. I remember watching him, and then the next day he had this hairstyle, and I was like, "This doesn't seem right at all.
Right,
Like, something is off here, and
Yeah.
nobody is addressing it."
Yeah, he doesn't stand out in any way. Not even his wrestling stands out. To be quite honest, it's like, and I hate to say this, he just seems like a Japanese jobber right now, and it's tough to say. The other four young lions, Fujita, Oiwa, Oscar Loibe, even Oleg, who's green as hell, and that you can still tell that. Obviously his massiveness is what makes him stand out, and obviously his amateur background, Olympic skills, and things of that nature. But yeah, man, Nakajima, man, I got no hope for this kid, man. No hope.
And I feel bad saying it because I'm going to say it. Like, I feel bad. So you've got guys who've got young lions who've got charisma, all the moveset, but if they don't have that, they at least have the look. They have this handsomeness about them that will have like fans saying, "Oh, he's so handsome. I want him to do well." He doesn't have that either. He's almost like, and I feel bad saying it because I don't want to come across like a stereotypical female fan, but I just feel like he needs some sort of star power, something to draw us in. And if you can't do it with your wrestling or your personality, looks is, I guess, the final thing you can fall back on in wrestling. And he doesn't have that either. He doesn't have the look, like the big muscle or the height, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's what Oscar Lobe and Bolton Olin have. They have that, either that size or that look that immediately you could say, okay, I can see him in the future being a star in this promotion. Nakashima doesn't have that like the other guys in his Young Lion cast. And I think that the key here, and Jay News, you would understand this. He just got to get braids. He got to get braids. He just got to get the braids, and he'll be on to somewhere, because I think the braids will be so unique, so unique. What was the last time you saw a Japanese guy with cornrows like Allen Iverson? Come on.
Last year when I went to where did I go? I went to the Italian market down on Bleecker and shit. I forget what it's called. San Gennaro's. There you go, in New York City. So I went down to San Gennaro's. There's a large Asian community. After Little Italy is Chinatown, but saw some Chinese folk, even some Japanese folk. They was rocking them box braids. Some had dreadlocks. I didn't understand it. You know what I'm saying? They just tried me down, but it's all good. But
get some dreads. Oh man,
dreads,
you just
dreads.
There you go.
I see it, bro. Dreads.
Some dreads. That changed Road Dogg Jesse James' career when he got the braids and the dreads. Come on, man.
I feel like the same might not work for Yuto Nakashima.
Maybe, but we don't know yet. We can't tell for sure until he tries it. But the main show for NJPW Dominion 2023 kicked off with the finals of the number one contenders tournament for the IWGP United States Championship. And for a match that was 8 minutes, my Lord, did they pack a lot in this matchup. It was very much the big, large competitor versus the faster, more athletic competitor with Will Ospreay versus Lance Archer. Archer opening up things by flatlining Ospreay right off the bat, taking the fight to the floor. Ospreay using his agility with a springboard forearm off the guardrail and then a dive to turn the match around and have an extended comeback. When we got back into the ring, Archer got a near fall with the blackout. Then he followed up with a big old choke slam on Ospreay for another near fall, but Ospreay was able to overcome that. He hits one hidden blade. Then after one hidden blade, he hits a second hidden blade. He hits a third hidden blade, and then finally he hits a fourth hidden blade. 1, 2, 3. He smartly, like we said in the preview, please don't even try to go for the Stormbreaker. He tried a few times with the help from the ropes, but he finished them off with 4 hidden blades for the 1, 2, 3. Will Ospreay is the #1 contender for the IWGP United States Championship. And then he got on the mic afterwards. He made the challenge, called out Kenny Omega, and he says, Omega, he is coming, and he is coming into his home territory, his home country. He says it's Ospreay versus Canada, and Will Ospreay will meet Kenny Omega at Forbidden Door 2 on June 25th for the IWGP United States Championship, the rematch of what has been kind of almost unanimously the match of the year so far, right off the gate on January 4th, back at Wrestle Kingdom 17. They're going to run it back again, this time in Omega's home country of Canada. And then to add insult to injury, Ospreay has cut a scathing promo that has gone viral pretty much of him going off on Canada, talking about how Canada has this reputation of being a whole bunch of nice people, but he says Kenny Omega's not nice, and he says he doesn't know a lot of nice Canadians. He says Chris Jericho, asshole. Don Callis, asshole. El Phantasmo, asshole. Bret Hart, all he does is moan all the fucking time. So he is coming into Canada, and it seems like he is dead set on being the most hated man in Canada when we get to Toronto on June 25th. I thought this was an excellent way to kick off the show. This is as good of an 8-minute match as you're going to see in wrestling. I give it 4 stars. What did you think about Archer versus Ospreay to kick off Dominion Sonal? And of course, the promo in the ring, and then post-match backstage from Will Ospreay.
I mean, are we going to say it's like a battle of Zack and Ospreay and who they hate? Zack's got his hatred for America. We've got Ospreay with his hatred for Canada. Those two literally could just start a group together where they just complain. And that really showcases who we are as Brits. Yes, we do complain that much. The match itself, phenomenal. I know someone joked how the match was 8 minutes, and then they compared it to the next match where LIJ's entrance was 5 minutes. Well, honestly, I don't think this match needed any more.
No.
Because, yes, Ospreay has gained weight. He is now a heavyweight, but they didn't suddenly decide that Ospreay was going to magically be able to conquer someone like Lance Archer, especially with his injury still present. They played that story, but then they also didn't have it where Ospreay's win was unbelievable. Like, he was fighting him down. He was literally throwing everything into it. And I said this online, and I think, yes, Ospreay is great in the ring. Yes, he is extremely handsome, but he hits a promo that I think is massively underrated. It's similar to Zack Sabre Jr. Whereas Zack is all about his technique and his techers and stuff, and Ospreay's all about like his past and his style. At the core, pro wrestling is also about the promos. And albeit while New Japan doesn't do it like WWE or AEW, Ospreay proved both in the ring and in the promo outside in the post-match that he's creating a story out of this. It is not just a match between two of the best wrestlers in the world. This is serious. This is personal. This is Ospreay's career on the line, and he's not going to let Kenny Omega get in the way of that.
Yeah, he's very much making it personal, not only with Kenny Omega, but those fans that are going to be in Toronto. Like, when I heard the promo in the ring, and then especially the one backstage, I was just like, he wants to get that Don Callis heat at Forbidden Door. I think the only way he can even get more heat after this promo is if he aligns with Don Callis. If Don Callis aligns with him ahead of Forbidden Door, that would be even more heat for him coming Canada. I think it's going to be a phenomenal matchup. And the fact that we've heard since January 4th that these two held back at what everybody is calling the match of the year. They held back because they knew they would face again around this time at Forbidden Door. Jay News, what did you think about Archer and Ospreay and the Ospreay promos following the match?
So for the match, I was a bit not let down because the match was good. It's like by the end of it, I was like, oh shit, that's it? Damn. So it was over. I was like, all right, man, no doubt. So it was a short match, given I understand length of the show. Obviously, Will has to now face off with Kenny Omega down the road at Forbidden Door, and they're probably going to put on some sort of an epic 35+ minute match that people just want to watch. So you know that's a plus. I didn't get to watch the backstage promo. I only got to watch the in-ring promo. I didn't get to watch any of the backstage stuff, so I don't know any of the chicanery that went on back there. But I'm sure you're absolutely right that he went off on Canada, and now he wants to be the biggest heel in all of Canada. I think that Don Callis has that down packed. I think Dom has all the heat down packed in the WWE. So I don't know if Will Ospreay is going to be able to reach those levels, but I will say that we're looking towards probably another match of the year contender come Forbidden Door. Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega 2. He's making it personal. He's taking on an entire nation by his damn self, and hopefully he wins. That's really what it's about. Hopefully, Will Ospreay wins, and he gets to win in Canada, so they can all boo him out of the damn building while he's holding up that championship belt. That is my.
I don't think he's gonna win at Forbidden Door.
Really?
That might not. I don't even know if that's a prediction. That might be a spoiler because I
Unless
think it
it's
sets
all
up.
out.
Exactly. It sets up for the bigger match to be the third match where Will, he's been cutting promos where he's kind of alluded that he feels like his career is on the line anytime he goes against Kenny Omega. If he makes it title versus career in his home country of the UK at Wembley Stadium at All In, that makes it an even bigger matchup. And then he finally beats Kenny Omega.
Does anyone know why this match was first? It's very weird for like a New Japan show. Like was there anything behind it? Did Lance Archer have somewhere to go? Did Ospreay have somewhere to go?
Well, I know the reason why it was short was because Lance Archer also brought up during his backstage promo that he had a torn triceps. So it hasn't even really been that AEW hasn't been using him. He's been injured for a while. So I think that it was both guys' injuries coming down to why the match was so short at 8 minutes. But as far as it being first up, I think that they just wanted to right off the gate give you a big matchup. I think right off the gate, give you a big matchup and also set up a big matchup for Forbidden Door. So by the time we get to the end of the show, news sources, I work with Wrestle Talk and do articles for them as far as the news. They would already be out there that, Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay is happening at Forbidden Door, because a lot of other probably news places, when it came to the semi-main event and the match they made for Forbidden Door, the articles for that weren't out until after the main event. So at least if they made this match early, all the news places would already be out, like Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay happening at Forbidden Door. They already started the build for Forbidden Door. And I also put out there after the second match was made that the people online, y'all make me sick. All of them was just like, oh my God, AEW, you had this show this week and you didn't make any matches for Forbidden Door. Like, what do you do? I wish they would have started the build for Forbidden Door. Like, New Japan didn't have one of their biggest events on Sunday. Like, I was like, wait till New Japan has their big event and then they'll start.
Time out. People aren't watching the shows then. They're not watching the shows. The builds have been starting for 2 weeks now and whatnot. ROH, Rampage, there's gonna be stuff on Dynamite this week, obviously, and whatnot. Come Collision in a couple of weeks. Like, what are they talking? People aren't watching, man.
Be patient, and thoroughly immerse yourself in the programming to know that things will happen. Things are happening. Things will continue to happen.
Exactly.
It's like, people, man, y'all make me sick sometimes. But chilling with Chase saying 2 out of 3 falls at AEW All In title versus career. If you want,
we need to protect Ospreay's body. No 2 out of 3 falls. Just one match.
Just one match. One match. They're already gonna go 30 minutes.
Put Naito or Tanahashi in a 2 out of 3 falls. Don't put Ospreay. We can't be dealing with that.
That's true. We're putting these guys in bubble wrap, and everybody was asking why Bryan Danielson hadn't been doing much. Now we understand why he hadn't been doing much in AEW. They put him in bubble wrap to set up for Forbidden Door. We got Frantic World saying, "Oh man, hope Lance Archer gets better soon. I hope so as well." We got here Frantic World who says we might get Joe versus ZSJ at Forbidden Door 2. Yeah, that's been getting set up on Ring of Honor. That's the Island Boys.
World Tag League got their first team ready.
Joseph of the Samoas and Zach of Sheppy, the Island Boys. Chilling with Jay saying Forbidden show is one of the shows, for me at least, that doesn't need a whole lot of build to get me invested. You give me matches I will probably never see, and that's good enough. Yeah, really, all they have to do with Forbidden Door is just announce matches. That's all they have to do for the build, really.
I feel like that's fair enough as like a New Japan fan, but, and this is no insult to anyone who watches AEW or just watches it, but I feel like with any Western company, they need it spelling out for them. They need something to get it in. Whereas like we can go into New Japan shows and they'll throw together like 4 tag matches at the start. We don't need anything to do with that. We don't care. We're just like, oh, it's fine. Taguchi's there. But I feel like with these companies, people literally need it to be like, here is this and this, which is leading to this, rather than something that's like, well, here's just some matches that you'll enjoy.
Yeah. I think I said it last year when Forbidden Door was on and around, and thankfully, because I don't catch much heat from people online, it is what it is. I don't know why, but I said that Forbidden Door isn't for casuals, right? But if they're going to continue to do the show year to year, right, they're going to have to try to bring in casual fans. And I think they've started off well this year with the builds and the story and making the stories of these matches. It's just like, you have to watch all the product for it, though. You can't just sit on Dynamite. You have to watch Rampage. You have to watch ROH. You have to watch the New Japan shows. Like, it's a collaboration deal here, folks. And if you're not watching all the shows, you're going to miss out, right? And the shows don't happen on the internet. They don't happen on Twitter. You know, get your New Japan World subscription, pay your $9.99 a month, and get on the ball. You know what I'm saying?
99 yen.
In the UK, it's like £6. It's nothing.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
come on.
I mean, the conversion here, yeah, it's more or less like $7.67 or whatever. Well, yeah. So it is what it is. But yeah, man, look, I still feel like the Forbidden Door show isn't for casuals, but they have to cater to the more casual wrestling fan as well. And I think that this year, I think the AEW and New Japan have taken a very concerted effort in order to do that. And for folks to not pay attention to that is like, all right, now you're not watching the product, though. You know what I'm saying? So I can't cater to you if you ain't watching. You know?
Yeah.
So
and the build pretty much started in April when they started the number one contenders tournament for the IWGP US Championship. So they have been building to it just on New Japan proper, because AEW is more focused on building to Double or Nothing at that time. So, but next matchup was the only Jay News. I know Jay News was just like popping himself, like only one multi-man tag that didn't matter, really? Oh my god.
My heart was breaking for that. I was like, where's Taguchi gone?
She was like, I want the butt stuff. Where's the butt stuff?
Well, I didn't get it in the Best of Super Junior. I was like, at least give me and Dominion.
I will say I popped so hard because of our conversation about Best of Super Juniors that Taguchi never won a matchup until his butt got exposed, and then he won a match.
Well, it wasn't even his exposing his butt. Kushida exposed his butt and then lost.
And then he lost. Now that might have been the best storytelling of the whole Best of Super Juniors. This one was Los Ingobernables de Japon's Bushi, Shingo Takagi, Tetsuya Naito, and Titan, Best of Super Juniors 30 finalists, versus just 4 of the 5 guys: Doki, Taichi, Takami Shinoku, Yoshinobu Kanemaru. And unsurprisingly, what we said during the preview, J News, came to fruition here. Takami Shinoku's on one side, so he's probably going to be a part of this finish. But we got some nice exchanges with Shingo and Nobu. Got some Shingo and Taichi continuing their rivalry. Also got some Taichi and Naito in here. It wound it up where Titan was left in the ring with Takami Shinoku. They did a triple team on him by LIJ, where they eventually finished him off with Teton hitting the double stomp off the top rope. And then he follows up with Lave Immortal, the Mudo lock, for the tap out victory. Once he locks those fingers, you know it's over, because this man tapped out Hiromu and Despy in the Best of the Super Juniors, and he tops out Taka Michinoku here. LIJ getting the win. But I thought this was a fun little matchup here, and it was a nice change of pace from what we would get later on in the show and what we got in the opener. So I gave this one 3 stars. J News, what did you think about LIJ, Just Five Guys?
Well, I was 2-0 at this point for my match counter predictions. I said that LIJ would win their match, and we also all predicted that Taka would be looking up at the lights. So that went down the way that it went down. As per usual, multi-man LIJ matches, the fluidity, the teamwork, outside of the fact that they might not operate visually as a faction, but in the ring, they operate just fine as a faction. And just 4 guys in this estimation was a little bit of a letdown. But for all intents and purposes, I think that this match went off without a hitch. It didn't really have any sort of story to tell. It was just thrown in there to have guys working and stay fresh. Obviously, we're still going to continue this whole Taichi versus Takagi feud. I'm not too sure where they're going to take it next, but that's going to continue on. It's always a pleasure to watch Uncle Nobu do some work. So it is what it is there. And Bushi changed up the mask, man. When they went to the back, I think, or during the Dominion press conference, he was hair was out. He had a mask on. He looked like
he was doing that during the Best of Super Juniors. Whenever he came out for like the Teton matches, he would have his hair out and a different mask on.
Yeah, man, he's definitely changing up the flow with the masks and stuff like that. He's a man of a million masks, so it is what it is there. But yeah, man, it was a decent match. 3 stars, I think, is solid, just due to the fact that LIJ is always carrying the other team when these matches go down. So, what do you think, Sonal? How did you view this match?
Bushi didn't get pinned. Well, that's a plus. That this was whenever there's Taka Michinoku in a match, we know Bushi is not gonna get pinned.
It's elimination. It's subtraction. It's like Taka is a bigger job guy than Bushi here.
In the past it would have been Doki, but I feel like now since Doki is literally probably one of those popular wrestlers now in New Japan, I feel that they sort of easing up on him being the fall guy. But I like the match. Where you said that Taichi and Shingo again. I don't know. There was something that maybe thought Taichi and Naito.
I saw that too. Yeah.
I was like, that would be interesting. That would be fresh. So I'm kind of hoping for that. I love how much the crowds are getting behind Titan. Like, I think he said it in the post-match comments. It's everyone has been helping him get the love. Even Naito said it in the post-match. He went, Titan is huge in Mexico. Didn't really have that much of a following in Japan, even if he's been in the Best of Super Junior before. But this year, he's really got the crowds behind him. And I think, again, albeit Titan is not one of the youngest members of the roster, he is still the future, and they are now pushing a new name in the junior division.
Yeah, it was thanks to those final 3 matches with Hiromu and then Despy, and then the finals, the 5-star Teton after the finals with Master Wato. I think that the crowd are definitely behind him, and we're cheering him a lot in this matchup. I do agree there. Next, we had another title match here on the show, as it was for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships, as it was Catch 2-2. Francisco Akira and TJP challenging the champions, the Intergalactic Jet Setters, Kevin Knight and Kushida. This one was fast-paced, as we expect from the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team division, as rapid back and forth to kick off the matchup. The Jet Setters were the first to gain the advantage, emerging from like a four-way fight at the beginning, and then did some high flying. This spot where Kushida kind of propels the ropes to make Knight go farther. I think he went a little too far with this one, where Knight almost fell on his damn head. I was like, God damn, Kevin Knight, we want you to be around for some years to come. Please don't do that too many times. It looked like Catch 2 was going to get the win with TJP getting his submission hold on, while Akira had the tarantula on Kevin Knight, but Kushida was able to get to the ropes. But this one was about continuing the story that kicked off in the Best of the Super Juniors, where Kushida seems to be down on his luck. He seems to not be the same Kushida as the past. They look like they were going to get the victory with the Doomsday drop kick. They also looked like they were going to get the victory with the Culture Clash, but they weren't able to. Catch 2 was able to kick out every single time before eventually hitting the leaning tower on Kevin Knight, and then following up with the double fireball knees to the jet to get the 1-2-3. Catch 2, TJP, and Francisco Akira regain the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. Really enjoys this one. I gave it 3.5 stars. I think if it went a little bit longer, I would have even gave it more stars here. But a lot of people are talking more about the post-match here, as after the match, Clark Connors comes down to the ring. He looks like he's about to make the next challenge for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. Dan Maloney was not happy to see Clark Connors after their vitriol kind of brawl that kicked off, that ended the Best of the Super Juniors tournament on the B block final. He was not happy to see Clark Connors, and then Connors pointed to the entranceway because Bullet Club didn't have a natural junior to join him, with Taiji Ishimori currently injured. And then when he pointed to the entranceway, it was Dan Maloney himself that turned on his fellow United Empire members, laying out Akira and TJP, joining up with Clark Connors in the Bullet Club. They are now the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team that is going to go after the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. And not only did they attack the new champions in the ring during the post backstage presser, they got jumped again, laying out these savages in the Junior Heavyweight division, the Muscle Juniors, as they've been getting called, Clark Connors and Dan Maloney, the new junior tag team for the Bullet Club here. I thought the turn was just superbly put together, where I didn't see it coming. It shocked me, despite the fact that Dan Maloney hasn't been a part of the Bullet Club for too long. It still shocked me the way they were able to do it, especially with how much hatred was involved in their brawl in the Best of the Super Juniors, to then parlay that into them becoming a tag team. I thought this was superbly done by New Japan Pro Wrestling. So now, what did you think about the match with Catch 2 and the Intergalactic Jet Setters, and the turn of Dan Maloney?
So I was quite shocked by the actual result of it, because as much as I love TJP and Francesco Akira, like one of my favorite teams since Roppongi 3K, I didn't expect Kushida and Knight to lose so quickly.
Damn.
And if they lost, I thought maybe Kushida would have got pinned, just if they're going to continue this almost narrative that he's come back. Literally probably had bad luck with the start. Obviously, he was off for ages, then his Best of Super Junior. But I was trying to explain this to my mom. I actually wasn't surprised about Dan Maloney. Since I've seen him in the UK, and I never thought he fitted the Empire. Even when he came into New Japan and did his Best of Super Junior, he almost fitted what the Empire started out as a heel faction. And I think Hanare said it in his match, like when he was talking about it, he was like, he's just like all those goddamn other foreigners. The Empire went from a stable that seemingly, I was a bit iffy on the name because of like Empire and stuff, something that seemingly was meant to be like the Bullet Club going against the Japanese, to it is collectively a group of wrestlers who at the heart are Japanese. They respect the culture, they love the fans, they are now crowd favorites. And Dan Maloney in every way never fitted in. And he even said that in the post-match. He was like, all I wanted to do is like go and have a drink. And TJ said, and I wanted to do this and smoke. And TJ said, no, that's not really right. And I love that while the crowds have got invested in the Empire and turned them away from heels, it is these simple things that Dan Maloney is saying, which is saying, the Empire truly are like for the Japanese people as much as anything.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sad that obviously Ishimori is injured, and I hope he gets well soon. But I think it is good to have some more fresh blood in the junior tag division. I mean, they're going to be a killer team, aren't they? They're just
I wouldn't be surprised if they're the team to dethrone Catch 2-2 now.
I can't have them doing it too soon, because I feel like you can't have two changes. But I feel like if they did, I wouldn't be mad, just because of how long Catch 2-2's reign was before, and if they are pushing with the whole David Finlay's new Bullet Club.
Yeah, I think they gotta establish them pretty strongly here if they're gonna be doing this new Bullet Club. And you know, Finlay has his championship, but his young guys that he's brought into the fold have to win some gold as well. We do have a super chat donation I didn't get to. Thank you so much, Vala B. We always appreciate the love. Saying Ospreay shot hard on Bret Hart. Yes, we're setting up Ospreay versus Dax Harwood 2, the rematch from what was it, 2 years or last year? Last year they had a great matchup on Dynamite. We're gonna get the rematch, as Dax Harwood has to protect his daddy's heart on Bret, and by heart I mean Bret the Hitman Hart. But yes, thank you for that super chat donation, Vala B. J News, what did you think about Catch 2-2 versus the Jet Setters, as well as Dan Maloney turning on United Empire?
Well, let me cover the Dan Maloney turn first. I, along with every other person watching the show, was not expecting this. Outside of Sonal, because you know she's in the UK, she understands that Dan Maloney's a real dick, and he doesn't really get along with anybody. But at the end of the day, it was cool to see. As the Negro Buck Nick says, I am waiting for the day that the Bullet Club goes 100% proof, because this whole Finlay thing ain't working for me.
It is working. It's his Bullet Club. He's remodeling it in his vision.
Where's the Gato impression? You know you need to come up with that.
The Bullet Club needs a rebel. The world needs a rebel. The LA Dojo needed a rebel.
Oh my God. Anyways, so with that being said, all I have to say is the Bullet Club is clicking on all cylinders right now, outside of David Finlay, because he just doesn't matter right now. He just doesn't matter right now.
No, that's even more extreme than I would say. That like you got some beef with Finlay.
It's all about Clark Connors. It's all about the Driller. It's all about the android joining the team. Oh, we'll get to that. You know what I'm saying? My main man, Gabe Kidd. We're gonna talk about all this, man. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, from a Max standpoint, makes me 3-0 on the count for the damn event. I predicted that Catch 2-2 would regain their championships here, and they did exactly that. It still plays into the whole for both Kevin Knight and Kushida that they didn't really make it out of Best of Super Juniors in a very positive light. I'm with Sonal. I think it would have worked best if Kushida would have taken a pin here, but it is what it is in that estimation. So we're continuing the downward spiral. May we see the Jet join another faction? I don't know, folks. I don't know, because it seems this whole LA dojo is infested with Bullet Club members. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I would like to see him stay on the whole entire side. He's too likable. He's too likable.
Same, but you know, if Kushida loses another match, man, I don't know if Kevin Knight's gonna hold back, bro. I don't know.
Can I also just say, like, and I feel like I didn't say that. By God, Francesco Akira, for his age, he is fring. Did you lose me when I was getting really passionate?
Yeah, they're trying to hate on you, the Francisco Akira haters. Go ahead.
And he is amazing. Like that tarantula, he is so young. He, I think, must be the youngest from the main roster guys. And he is phenomenal. With TJP, he has been doing some amazing things. By God, that boy, he's a future junior champion, not tag champion, but a singles, and I need it.
I agree with you because I said after the match with El Desperado in the Best of Super Juniors, I was like, he's the guy that can fill this Osprey-shaped hole that has been there for the last 4 years in the junior heavyweight division. He has that type of vibe to him, and he really kind of showed throughout the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. And yeah, we should also mention, Bella B mentioning here in the chat, it was announced this morning on New Japan Pro Wrestling, putting out the cards for a couple of their future shows. The big show for New Japan Strong coming over to the U.S. Independence Day on July 4th. The headline matchup on July 4th is going to be the new Power Juniors of Dan Maloney and Clark Connors of the Bullet Club versus Catch 22 for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. And come on, I'm saying it. Dan Maloney and Clark Connors bringing the gold to the Bullet Club. It's happening. It's happening. The Rebel Club. The Rebel Club is, oh man, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. J-Du's gonna be pissed. It's karma. Karma for what happened in the main event. It's karma right there.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The right man won. The right man won.
We'll get to that. We will get to that. I think Akira is 23. So yeah, he's the youngest. He's the youngest. He is definitely is. Frantic World saying Clark Connors in BC is the right move for him. Most definitely. I think it was the right move for most of the people that they have put into this new Bullet Club, which we'll get into. But first, we had the New Japan Pro Wrestling World Television Championship up for grabs. Once again, a rematch from Wrestling Dontaku, as it was Zack Sabre Jr. going one-on-one with Jeff Cobb, 15-minute time limit. And this was totally different and what I needed from this Zack Sabre Jr. Title defense, because a lot of these title defenses have kind of fit the same formula. Zack likes to kind of break down somebody, whether it's the arm, whether it's the leg, and then eventually get the job done after the 10-minute call when the sense of urgency was up. But we got the sense of urgency from like the opening bell. We got back and forth to open things. Zack kind of continuing. It was basically like a continuation from their Dontaku matchup, where Zack very early on hits the big German suplex that he kept looking for at Dontaku, and he does it here. Cobb was using his strength to kind of toss Zack all around the ring, eventually hitting a German suplex of his own. He hits the spin cycle. He looks like he's very close to putting Zack away. He goes for the tour of the island, but Zack is able to get that one counter, that one transition that kind of Cobb didn't have an answer for, and that was having a counter for the tour of the islands. When he goes to transition him into the slam, Zack is able to flip over, crucifix pin, 1, 2, 3, 8 minutes, 46 seconds. Zack Sabre Jr. defeats Jeff Cobb to retain the NJPW World Television Championship, his 10th successful defense since winning the title at Wrestle Kingdom 17. I thought that this was a terrific matchup. Just brilliant how they kind of it basically was like the bell. They just continue the match from Dontaku. They didn't waste any time. All killer, no filler at all. I gave this 4 1/4 stars. I thought this was the perfect kind of continuation from what we saw in their previous match here. Sonal, what did you think about ZSJ Cobb 2?
You're gonna hate it. I preferred the last one.
Well, I mean, of course you do. You're a big Jeff Cobb fan.
I mean, obviously I'm a Zack Sabre Jr. fan because he's like my boy, my homeboy. It wasn't bad. It was by no means a bad match. Like, I don't think this title has had a bad match. Zack will never put one on. At the start, it felt a little bit clumpy, and like, it was great. I love that there was like the desperation in it, and even in the post-match comments, Zack was like, he technically still saw it as a loss because he is the man who wants to win with submissions. And the way that he did that again proves that Zack needs to go to extreme measures to beat someone like Cobb, because it is setting again the fact that neither one is better than the other. It is just a matter of days. But I think I did prefer the last one. But 10th defense for Zack. We are going for Wrestle Kingdom. We are going for the year reign for the New Japan World title.
Zack of the Sheppies retains again. J News, what did you think about Cobb versus ZSJ2?
Even though I already knew what the outcome of this match was going to be, we both said we needed a match that was at most 10 minutes, and we got that. We got 8 minutes and whatever amount of seconds it was. One half of the Island Boys wins this match as he hit the crucifix bomb on Jeff Cobb. To get, man, look, you don't ever really see Zach go to the top rope or try to do all those different things. It was a very different match for Zack Sabre Jr. to wrestle, and it was a good match because it was a different style, and he didn't win with a submission. He won with another pinning combination. At the end of the day, Jeff Cobb just doing Jeff Cobb things. Love it. That power is unmatched in that ring. But ZSJ had to win the match because we have to see the Island Boys face off at Forbidden Door. It's got to be Samoan Joseph, and it's got to be ZSJ. You know, Zach, you have the Sheppies. So, you know, it's got to be that match at Forbidden Door. It's going to be a hell of a banger. We better get a 15-minute time limit exhibition out of those two. And I would imagine it would be a draw, but that's just me predicting at the end of the day. But yeah, man, I thought the match was solid, and I went Sonal. It started off a little slow, but then it really picked up the pace, and they went to it and stuff like that, and another win for me on the books. So that went there.
Literally, all we need now, Zach is obviously been amazing. Bring him back to the UK for a bit. Let him be Prime Minister. If he made that time prestigious in its first few months, he needs to come back and save his country. We need him.
We do need him. You do need him there. I consider myself an honorary UK resident. I spent nearly 6 months there, so yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
You are one of us, SPJ.
I do enough content with people from the UK as well. I have to work on y'all time. But yes, next we had the IWGP Tag Team Championships up for grabs, as well as the NJPW Strong Tag Team Champions in a three-way matchup between Bishamon, House of Torture, and the United Empire. Immediately off the bat, of course, United Empire get jumped from behind from really? House of Torture.
Really? House of Torture did a jump start. I'm really shocked.
Yeah, I know. I was like totally surprised by this, but they did have on new shirts, and the shirts, I will say, that was the best thing about them in this matchup. But yes, the white shirts I did like a lot, but I really felt like all the people involved kind of played their role very well, and the crowd was into this initially from the start because it was so much chaos going on because of the jump start here. You had everyone kind of have their advantage during this matchup as well. It looked like Bishamon had control early on, then House of Torture got the advantage when Show came in, got the low blow on United Empire. He was getting involved. They put out their buds on Great O'Khan at one point. Then Chaos got some help. Bishamon in the form of Darby Yo as he came out with a skateboard and started hitting House of Torture with the skateboard, eventually taking out Show. Eventually it was Hanare, looked like he had control and he was about to put things away with the Streets of Rage until House of Torture got involved and broke that up. And then eventually it was Bishamon who got Yujiro in the ring. And if Yujiro's in the match, guys, it's the Taka Michinoku rule. He's taking the fall. So he takes Shoto, and Bishamon regain the IWGP Tag Team Championships and get their first reign with the NJPW Strong Tag Team Championships. I thought this was a very good match that I kind of overachieved, in my opinion. I gave it 3.5 stars here. The post-match, though, was probably the more interesting fact and the thing that's been talked about more since this matchup. As the celebration was on for Bishamon, I thought that we would get a hint of who they would face possibly at Forbidden Door, but instead we got a video talking about Bullet Club War Dogs, and then when we got back into the arena, It was none other than Gabriel Kidd and Alex Coughlin, who came out, gave the new Bullet Club single, the Behind the Back Too Sweet, and then made their way down to the ring. They bum rushed the new champions, taking them out, laying them out with big power moves, and then picked up the championship gold and staked their claim to be the first contenders, the first challengers for Bishamon. The Bullet Club War Dogs are born, and another 2 members join into Bullet Club. I was like, man, they saved all the angles for the Bullet Club 10th anniversary for this show. It was crazy, but very interesting what they did here. Like I said, I enjoyed the matchup a lot more than I thought I would, and the Bullet Club War Dogs was a nice little surprise here. What did you think about this match right here, J News, and the post-match with the BC War Dogs?
As for the match itself, after the match was done, I said to myself, "There's beauty in chaos." I thought that this match was chaotic as hell, but at the same time, it was really cool to see because everybody, like you said, everybody played their part so well. It was chaotic, but yet fluid. At the end of the day, it didn't take too long. It wasn't super clunky at all and stuff like that. Everybody got their shit in. Big ups to Brian Cage for that one. But everybody got their shit in. And yeah, man. I mean, this is the downer for me because I chose the UE boys to win. So this is the downer for me. But at the end of the day, you know, Bishamon winning the tag team championships here makes the most sense from an overall standpoint. They are the stalwarts of this tag team division and have been for the last 2 years. So it makes more sense for them to hold the tag team gold on both sides, both on Strong and New Japan proper. And the Bullet Club War Dogs, man. Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. I didn't expect this whole Alex Coughlin thing. I really did. I did not. You know, Gabe Kidd, I was like, man, when's he gonna come out with the t-shirt? You know what I'm saying? But yeah. When the Android joined him and they just took suckers out, I was like, man, this is different. This is different. And their spot, yo, dude, like for real, like in my head, I thought they were really gonna job out the majority of the LA Dojo boys. That was really my thought process. The way it was looking, I thought like for the next couple of years, they're going to job out the LA Dojo boys. But all of a sudden, in one fell swoop, they made them all stars, top billing stars in their own right. And they're going to go cause some damage. They're part of the new generation, as they're calling it now. This is the new wave of the new generation. And it's cool to see, man. It's really, really cool to see that all dojos, both Noge, both LA, doing the damn thing. And being spotlighted on the show. And you know, I think it's like we said before, you know, especially me and Sonal, is like these guys have a place in our hearts because we watched them through the pandemic. We watched them grow up and like now they're here. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like they're present and it's one thing to see it, but it's another thing to enjoy it. And I'm enjoying what it is they're doing with them so far. There's a couple of young lions from the previous class that are still missing. I'm not too sure as to what's going on with them per se, but the young client class that we have now, the guys that were there during the pandemic, they're holding it down and they're strong and everything is viable. So I am ready to see as to where this savage team of Bullet Club members is going to go. Because they're savages in their own right, in their own way, but they don't need that mouthpiece with a shillelagh in hand to be their freaking leader because he ain't nobody's savage.
Oh,
so let's be real.
Will this guy ever stop his hate?
Obviously
Finley?
not.
Jesus.
Obviously not. No.
Jesus Christ.
No, he is not. He is not the equivalent of his father. He is not a Belfast bruiser. He is nothing like a.
He's
savage.
A Belfast brawler. He's a Belfast brawler. He's not a bruiser. He's a brawler. So now, what did you think about the 3-way tag match and the introduction of Coughlin and Kidd as the BC War Dogs?
I mean, let's just say, and I'm not in any way praising them, but this might have been one of the best matches that Evil and Yujiro have had in a while. Which, I mean, it's not saying much, but...
yeah, it's a low bar, but I would say, yeah, you're right.
But I definitely think that having it as a triple threat with United Empire and Bishamon really raised the standards of this because while they were doing their shenanigans, we did see some genuine fighting. And I was actually really happy when Okan and Hanari got put into the match because they are two guys who are phenomenal. Like, especially Hanare, like since coming to the United Empire, has literally showcased why he deserves to be a superstar. And I think they were around the similar time in the dojo, I think. Like in the same class. So they have
so,
that, yeah, they have that connection, and then it just works. And I was so happy that Bishamon won. That's who I thought. I thought it would make the most sense. I think you need to build up Okan and Hanare a bit as a team before giving them the 2 titles. Whereas Bishamon is a safe bet. You know they're going to put on great matches, whatever happens at Forbidden Door. Or, yeah, because there won't be anything between that. But with the turn, I mean, I've been following Gabriel Kidd for years. He was, when I used to run a written blog, he was the first wrestler I ever interviewed. Like, thinking back, that's crazy. Before, like, this was, I think, before he went to the LA dojo for the first time.
He was still doing WCPW. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he'd just flown out for the first time to be with Shibata. So, but I always know that he works really well as a heel. He has done that in the UK. But yeah, like everyone else, Coughlin, I didn't expect it, but I didn't know what to expect. Like Jane said, like, I thought he would be someone who, I guess, suffered the same thing that Carl Fredericks did. Because I know I was the biggest Carl Fredericks fan. I had such high hopes for him. And I thought, oh God, Coughlin has got the same potential, but is he going to go through the same quite bland route, which is eventually going to lead him to going and finding somewhere where he can shine? I think this is good. While my grievances with the size of Bullet Club is still an issue, because God, we're getting bigger and bigger, and because we've got to remember we still have the guys in Impact. We have Ace Austin and Chris Bay, and then
they just need to join BC Gold. They're more
and then you've got BC Gold there, which again is the most confusing thing because they're going to tell me that
because the BC Gold is the Bang Bang Gang, the Bang Bang Gang. They at least got their own alias.
But it still doesn't make any sense. You're going to tell me that Finlay is going to make the massive deal out of kicking Jay White out and making himself the leader just for Jay White to be the leader somewhere else with but it makes no sense. But
the Bang Bang Gang.
As Jane said, thank God that they are doing something with this crop of former Young Lions from the LA dojo. And yeah, if they can just sort out the consistency, maybe remove House of Torture, Kenta with his 2 titles now, sort him out somewhere, we can have something. Just keep the core group, all the new guys, Ishimori. You can keep Gato, I guess. Keep Gato if you want, but get rid of anything that's not needed and start a new path. Then we've got something. But for now, I'm still skeptical. But yeah, I'm brought up that Kenta has now got 2 belts.
That's right. Yes, he's Defiant champion from one or Defy, right? Defy.
He defeated Nick Wayne to win the Defy championship.
With a low blow, apparently.
Nick Wayne's about to go to AEW, so they was like, got to get this title off of him, and Kenta was the best option.
So I think, being that the Aussie Open boys are still United Empire, Nick Wayne, who Will Ospreay is a huge fan of, I feel can eventually, now that Dan Maloney's out, can join the UE if he's going towards AEW. So that might be a potential.
I'm not really like that knowledgeable. Is he a heavyweight or a junior?
Junior.
He's a junior.
He's a junior. Yeah, definitely. So I'll say that, and to Sonal, to your point about the Bullet Club being too big, don't be too surprised if they downsize soon. That's all I've got to say.
That's all I need. That's all I've ever wanted.
That's all I got to say.
Just cut the fat.
It's the reason why LIJ works, why Suzuki-gun works, why Just 5 Guys works, why Hontai doesn't work as a faction, and why Chaos didn't. There was too many different people with too many different things. And while we've always joked that LIJ literally don't look like a faction together, the small size of them allows them to at least be cohesive in the ring. That's what I think. Bullet Club, I think, while Kenny Omega, with the Elite and then that, it's from there that we've just seen how bad an oversaturation of a faction can be. Like, don't turn out like Hontai. We don't need it. But Hontai works in that way, is that they have they're known as the home unit. They are the basis, so they don't need to be this strong faction. They got the dads. They got the New Japan dads. They got Taguchi. But something like Bullet Club needs strength, but not in numbers.
Yes,
I think they're gonna downsize soon. You know, the older members, the older guard is gonna go away. That's just my prediction. No Bad Luck Fale, Chase Owens out. Like those dudes, they're gonna go away. And don't be too surprised if the man with the bloody hands has blood on his face by the end of all this. So
hey. Bullet Club need the Gato too. We got RBGs is saying, is House of Torture still Bullet Club? Yeah, because they haven't established if they are not in Bullet Club yet. They never said they aren't a part of Bullet Club. We still get references on commentary that they are still in the Bullet Club. So apparently they still are. But this was the time that everybody was waiting for. The G1 Climax 33 lineup was announced, and we got the usual suspects of the Kazuchika Okadas, the Tetsuya Naito, Sanada, Will Ospreay, Hiroshi Tanahashi, David Finlay was in there again. We had the first entry of Shota Umino in the Best of the Super Juniors. In the G1 Climax. You get Shingo Takagi, Tomohiro Ishii, to the surprise of many who thought that he would not be in this year. He's in it. Tama Tonga's back in it. Tonga Loa has finally recovered from injury, and he's back in the G1.
Can I quickly point out something here? I think we spoke about on Ace Techers with Tama Tonga's contract. When I saw the three brothers' names come up, I thought this must be some way of like basically turning down like the rumors that said they're going to WWE.
Yes, I peeped that too. I was like, this is like a stamp saying, nope, they're here for a little while longer because Hikuleo is making his first appearance in the G1 Climax tournament. You got Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi, Toriano, those usual suspects. You got Kenta, Zack Sabre Jr., Tai Chi. But for the first time ever, dreams come true, ladies and gentlemen. An AEW representative is in the G1 Climax, and it ain't Lance Archer. It's Eddie fucking Kingston. New York, stand up. New York, stand up. Eddie Kingston in the G1 Climax. I can't wait. I was so happy to see this. El Phantasmo's back in the G1 Climax. You got Ren Narita making his first appearance in the G1. You got Evil.
Quickly, surprise me because I've said this. I feel like Ren Narita would do better as a junior.
I agree too, but they've been very adamant that they are putting him in the heavyweights, but we shall see. Even though I do think that this is gonna set up, and I'll talk about it after we go through all the entrants of where I think Ren Narita is gonna be as far as how the blocks break down. Evil, unfortunately, is still in the G1. Chase Owens, unfortunately, is still in the G1. Jeff Cobb is still in the G1. Great O'Con's in the G1. Aaron Hanare making his second appearance. We got actually 4 straight back-to-back for first timers from not in Japan. Gabriel Kidd's making his first appearance. Alex Coughlin's making his first appearance. Both members of TMDK. Shane Hayes, Sonal got her wish. Shane Hayes in the G1. Mikey Nichols is in the G1. Yota Tsuji will be making his first appearance in the G1. And boy, oh boy, you can probably hear Okada's blood boiling when this announcement was made. From Pro Wrestling Noah, Kaito Kiyomiya is in the G1 Climax, and I think this sets up the perfect scenario where Okada last year was in the big boy block, and I think commentary said it as well. This year, Okada needs to be in the daycare block where he's with all the unruly kids. He needs to be in the same block as Ren Narita, as Shota Umino, as Kaito Kiyomiya, as Yota Tsuji, as Yes, Gabriel Kidd, Alex Coughlin. He needs to be in a whole block with unruly kids. He needs to be the angriest dad in America, in Japan, in the world. The angriest dad in the world. The best character in wrestling needs to be in the daycare block, and he ain't changing no diapers. He is whooping everybody's ass, but he's gonna take some losses as well. Oh my God, when Kaito Kiyomiya was at May, I don't know what I popped for more, Kaito Kiyomiya or Eddie Kingston more, but I was so glad to see both of these guys in the G1 Climax. J News, what do you think about this lineup? 32 participants, so it seemingly seems like we're going to get a 4-block format once again, but this time, unlike last year where it was 28 7 per block, we're gonna get 8 per block. And I think how the schedule looks, we're probably gonna get where it's like 2 blocks each night instead of like the very confusing way they did it last year, where it was like sometimes you would see a D block, sometimes you see C block, sometimes you see A block. I think if they format it in a way where it's like A and C's on one night, B and D on the next night, do it like that, like how they did the Best of Super Juniors, where they had block matches the whole night. Just do 8 matches each night of the two different blocks. I think that's the way they should do it, and probably are going to do it based on the schedule. But what do you think about this lineup, J News?
So, first things first, I was surprised at the 32-man count. That was one. Yes, we're probably going to go back to the 4-man block format, or the four block format, 8 person blocks, 4 matches per block per night. So that's 8 matches per night if they're going to take it that way. So I think what you're saying probably is going to work out. A and C, B and D, or A and B and C and D, depending on how they want to do it. Hopefully there's not going to be any filler matches at all during these events. I don't want to see any. Look, I'll see the New Japan dads come the end of the G1. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to the mainline tournament, just have the 8 matches. You have your 3.5-hour shows to begin with. Take the time to build out those shows that way, and do it and do it in that sense. I popped for Eddie Kingston, much like Sid said, New York stand up, New York stand up. When I saw Kaito Kiyomiya come up on screen, son, I said to myself, "Oh yeah, we gonna have this one. We gonna have this one." But when they came up on opposite sides of the screen, I said to myself, "They're not going to be in the same block. There's no way they're going to be in the same block. If they do with G1, what they did with the Super Juniors, where they have a semis and they combine the blocks, that's when we'll see Kiyomiya versus Okada. It won't be in the final.
No, they need to be in the same block. You got to give us that match. You got to give us that match. And I don't think Kiyomiya is gonna make it that far. So you got to put them in the same block. You got to make it a guarantee. You got to make it a guarantee that we get this.
I disagree with you in the sense that he is the lone representative of Noah. He will make it far. Is he still the champion? He's still the champion, if I'm not mistaken. No,
he lost the title. Okay. He lost the title to go take Muta to the WrestleMania weekend.
Oh, okay. But whatever.
Jake Lee is the GAC heavyweight.
Okay, all right. But regardless of the fact, he is a former champion over at Noah. He still has his beef with Okada. I don't think they're going to be in the same block. That's gonna be whatever block they in. That's gonna be the block final. That's what they should do. They gotta make. You can't put it up as suspense, because that's the match. Once he was called, that's the match everybody wants. So you have to put them in the same block. You keep people waiting to see this match. This is no way you do it first.
Because that's how you sell. No, how you sell tickets is you make that one of the block matches, because you make that the block match, you have it announced, that show's going to be a sellout because that's your main event, this rematch. You can't put a suspense where you only have a few days to promote it. No, you have to make that the block match.
At the end of the day, you still have Naito and Okada and all these other guys. These shows are going to sell out regardless.
Naito and Okada ain't going to be in the same block though.
That's my point, man. That's my point. You can drag this out. This is New Japan, man. Long form storytelling, son. At the end of the day, that's the way we got to do it. That's the way it's got to go. I don't want to see this match in a block. I want to see it in the semis, or I want to see it in the finals. At the end of the day, making this match come at the beginning of the tournament, or like It just, to me, doesn't make any sense or whatever. Just make us continue to wait for it. It'll be an itch that we'll finally get to scratch. Don't worry about it. Besides that, I'll say this. I don't have a pick in the G1 right now. I really don't. It's a toss-up right now. I honestly feel like they're still going to go with the. I still have the gut feeling of the Naito route. That's my gut. But with everything that was announced yesterday, it's like I don't know where they're going. So that's cool. That's cool. Not to know sometimes. So the G1 is definitely going to be one to remember this year.
Sonal, what do you think about this G1 Climax lineup and the 32-man block? And what do you think? Do you think that they should put Okada and Kiyomiya in the same block, or do you make them wait and not sell tickets?
But I'll come to that one in the end because I feel like you two are so passionate about what you want. Now, we'll skip that. First of all, like Jay News, I don't have a pick because, as everyone who knows who follows me, my pick is always Jay White. And the only link to that is the man is in the tournament who got rid of Jay White. So I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, it's slightly big. Like, it's massive, the lineup. But yeah, bar a few, I mean, there's no Yujiro. It's great. They really cut down in that way. There's no Fale. Yes, they've got Yano, but I feel like Yano's an exception to everything. Like,
that's to give somebody a day off, whoever's in his block. They're going to get a day off.
We need some comedy there. Like, Taguchi, we got Taguchi in the Best Super Junior, albeit we only got one ass, but, it's fine. But I feel like, aside from that, it is so strong. Like, you have, I'm going to keep repeating it, the present and the future of New Japan. You have so much diversity in it. All the factions are represented. Someone has listened to me and put Shane Haste in it. That in itself is going to be phenomenal. And obviously all my young lions are in it from both LA and New Japan. It's so strong. I just wish it was condensed. Like, I'm a massive Tanahashi fan. He's on the wall there. But I feel like I wouldn't have even minded if he had been missed off. That's controversial.
He's a little slow. He's a little slower now. He is a little slower.
Like, not even that he doesn't deserve it, but I just think he needs a rest. And if he's going to continue with these Never Six-Man titles, he should focus on that. He can really bring hype to that and maybe cut that down. But, like, honestly, it's phenomenal. When Kiyomiya got announced, I was like, this is amazing. This is great. In terms of Okada, I feel like if they're not in the same block, it would be interesting as they can keep alluding to each other in the post-match comments. So it can almost be like they're playing mind games with each other, but from different perspectives, to when they finally meet, then we can have something huge. So in that sense, I feel like that would be better.
Exactly.
But I also get why I think the block matches would also be great, because it's almost like this is the moment. We could have it where either Kiyomiya or Okada is the reason the other doesn't win.
Exactly.
I don't want Okada to win. We can't have another Okada G. Like, it's like Hiromu. We've had Hiromu not win, but
and what Valabi says is correct. If they face in the semis, Okada's winning. Like, there's no mystery there. That's why I want it to be the block final, because then there's a mystery there. Because I think that this might be the tournament where Okada drops one to one of these New Japan unruly kids of either Tsuji or Umino or Narita. Yeah, I agree. It should be Shooter who beats him in the G1, and then it's like he has one loss going into the block final. Maybe Kiyomiya drops one before the block final, or drops two before the block final. It has to win the block final to go to the final, and then there's a little bit more mystery there. If they verse in the semis, I'm just gonna be like, well, Okada wins, and then when Okada wins, I'm gonna be up here on this channel and be like, CJ News, that's why I didn't want it, because I knew who was gonna win if they verse in the semis.
But I feel like Naito can do it. If Okada gets to the final, they might not, because I feel like you're gonna have someone new. But I feel like this has to be Naito's time, doesn't it?
I'm with Sonal here. It's got to be Naito's time. That's what my gut's telling me. But I'm not making a concrete pick. And y'all out here thinking that Okada's got to win. Y'all out here thinking Kiyomiya's got to lose. Draws happen, people. I'm the draw guy. Draws happen at the end of the day. So all I'm saying is it's all up in the air.
Watched him in 17 minutes in the
I get
Tokyo
that,
Dome.
but at this point, he's no longer the GHC champ, and he's on a different path. He's on a different mission. He's here to prove himself against the latest and the greatest of New Japan Pro wrestlers, past, present, and future. And if he can do it, why not? Give the kid a spotlight at the end of the day. So that's that. And the kid's a hell of a professional wrestler, anyways. So we got to give him credit where credit is due. So it's baby steps here and there, whatever the case is. But what I'm trying to visualize here is how they're gonna get Naito to the promised land. That's really how I'm trying to visualize, because we need to have
Naito has to at least make the finals here. My off the rip, I will just say my finals prediction right now, before we even do the preview for the G1, I would do Naito versus Tsuji in the finals.
But you know what I've got, which is different, and how I think this is going to work? Sanada and Naito in the same block. Naito pins Sanada during one of the block matches.
Sure.
Can do that.
Sets up for something, and I feel like, because remember when Zack Sabre Jr. for his G1, he said, if I win the G1, I want to have my title shot at Royal Quest. I think that was what he said.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They have somebody like that who is saying, if I win the G1, I want my title shot straight away. So maybe if there is another... Yeah, so if someone said maybe at All Out in England, might not happen, but if that's the case, or if there's another New Japan show somewhere, they say that, then that can open up Naito to say, okay, then, so if you're not challenging for Wrestle Kingdom, I will challenge you at Wrestle Kingdom, and then it works that way.
I would just do outright if Naito is the plan to be in the Wrestle Kingdom main event, then you should just have him win the G1 and just set it up that way, because he has the long-term story. This is now what, 3-4 years since Wrestle Kingdom 2020, when he won in the main event and didn't get the rally call. We're now 3 years into this story of him wanting to get back to that main event spot, and the perfect person for him to face is Sanada. But I would have Tsuji in there, because then there's more mystery, because they could just go back to Tsuji, because they have been building this whole year around former Young Lions winning these big tournaments. So that's why I would say Tsuji and Naito right now is my favorites for the finals.
That's why I said Tsuji got time. Y'all keep wanting to rush this goddamn thing. Tsuji's got time.
Hey, Tsuji, they should have strapped a rocket. They should have strapped a rocket right there. And also, correct Vala B saying draws isn't something you want in the semis, and there's no time limit in the semis.
It doesn't matter what you want. It's what the people get.
No, but I'm literally telling you that draw is not an option, because they don't have time limit.
In the finals, it's a 60-minute time limit. In the rest of the match, it's still half an hour. That is the last 3 years has been no. The last year it was no time limit in the semis, and there was no time limit in the finals, and multiple for the last like 3-4 years there's been no time limit in the finals. Okay, all right. Well, then we know what will happen then at the end of the day if there's no time limit. Then
we know Okada's gonna win. That's why they should face in the block. See, I made my point.
That's why I said they shouldn't be in the same block, because it doesn't make any sense.
I said they should the block final. Yes, they should. They should be in the same block, but save it for the final show. But yeah.
That was very, guys. If when the blocks are announced, come back to this channel just to see who was right and who gets bragging rights.
Getting my bragging rights here. But let's go to the never overweight championship matchup. It was David Finlay with his brand new Bullet Club going up against El Phantasmo. El Phantasmo with new theme music, which had the Osaka fans directly in his corner right off the bat. And this matchup started with a huge brawl between both guys, them going to the floor. Eventually, Finlay, wiped out Finlay with a big dive to the outside, but eventually Finlay was able to regain control when he launched ELP into the ring post, back into the ring. Finlay was basically picking him apart, cutting him off at every kind of turn, despite El Phantasmo trying to get under his skin with like the nipple twist and stuff like that. Every single time ELP tried to get the make his comeback, it was the new Bullet Club getting in his head and causing distractions. He eventually got a DDT and a little strike exchange between the two men, and eventually hit the sudden death for a great near fall in this one. He tried to go to the top rope for the Thunderbird, but Bullet Club kept distracting him again. So he took them out on the floor, taking out first the Juniors with the big moonsault off the top, then the War Dogs with a senton off the top rope. Finlay goes to the outside and he takes advantage of the distraction, delivering a big power bomb through a table at ringside. He puts ELP in the ring, delivers one more power bomb, and then he finishes him off with Oblivion. 1, 2, 3. No longer the Trash Panda. It's now called Oblivion, and he gets the 1, 2, 3 to retain the Never Openweight Championship. Another dominant performance from David Finlay here, and another very, very good matchup in my opinion. I gave it 4 stars. I think that this is a longer story they're trying to tell here. I think that ELP will eventually be the man to dethrone David Finlay. And after the matchup, Shingo Takagi, who was on Japanese commentary, kind of exchanged some words with David Finlay, and they talked about how Finlay defeated him in the G1 last year. So I can see a scenario where Shingo, ELP, and David Finlay are in the same block of the G1, and maybe we continue this dynamic there. But what did you think about this Never Openweight Championship match, Sonal?
I just had hopes for ELP. I've been literally, most people I don't like when they go heel into the Bullet Club, but since I first saw ELP walking the ropes here in Manchester in the UK with his bright goggles, or maybe I think the first time I saw him was actually a Rev Pro show with New Japan, I was hooked. I was like, this man is a star. And I guess it makes sense story-wise for Finlay to win. And I was annoyed because we had little Bullet Club bodyguards getting involved. I thought, Finlay, you're meant to be proper, but albeit they didn't get properly involved like House of Torture, but they still were in the match, which I thought Finlay was against. So that's hypocritical, Finlay. Don't have them involved. But it makes sense for Finlay to win, but I want to see what is going forward with ELP. He said, like Jay New said, he's alluded to having some people behind him because he knows that he can't be by himself. And I know Feds, I don't think he's a Hun type boy.
I don't see it either, and that's why I think that the Shingo tease at the end is might to what you originally call Sonal. I think he might be a candidate to join up with LIJ, maybe join his daddy.
Join his daddy.
Join his daddy. J News, what did you think?
Actually tweeting about it, like retweeting ELP pictures and going like baby and stuff like that. So this could be a thing. Could be a thing.
Come on, give it to us. ELP versus Finlay. What did you think, J News?
I thought the match was good. You know, I thought that they delivered a good in-ring performance, both guys. I think somebody mentioned in the chat earlier on, why not make GOD a faction? Right? Because to me, and I've said this before in other preview and review shows, like regardless of the fact that Tama Tonga is considered a face or not, at the end of the day, he still doesn't fit the Hantai dynamic in for my liking, right?
But so, I agree with you, J News. It feels like he was just put there by default.
Right.
Well, maybe they were trying to figure out what to do with him, and it just seemed the best place to put him for a babyface turn.
Yeah. So I think like now with his brother coming back, and then Hikuleo obviously coming out on his own, and those guys, they never had harsh words for each other, meaning ELP and the guys from GOD. It's like, why not put them all 4 of them together at this point as a faction? You know what I'm saying? 4 guys is a faction. I think it could work if New Japan is the freaking is the Fed with all the factions. So why not add an extra one? What difference is it going to make? You know what I'm saying? So and obviously the GOD theme is tremendous. So at the end of the day, why not just use it to have everybody come out to it? And at the end, you know, it puts them in the limelight. And yeah, man. I mean, and then it'll put God proper back in the tag team division. Hikuleo can do his single stuff, and ELP can shine and do some things. You know what I'm saying? So, and maybe later on they have other faction members. Who knows? But at the end of the day, for now, I think it'll work. It can work better in that regard. I didn't watch the post match comments that ELP made after the match, so I'm not. I know that Bala B and other folks in the chat were alluding that God will probably end up being his tag partners to face off against some of the guys from the New Bullet Club, the Savages, and stuff like that. I'm a big proponent of the Bang Bang Gang. That's just me. But
Bang Bang Gang are heels, though. They're heels. I know. You can't squander the ELP babyface run for the Bang
also,
Bang
you
Gang.
can't have baby faces in the Bang Bang Gang.
Doesn't really work that way.
That's true.
Oh, I love it. I just love when anybody says Bang Bang Gang. That pops me every single time. But let's talk about the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship matchup. This is originally supposed to be the semi-main event, but we'll get into why it got changed up when we get to the Never Openweight 6-man Tag Team Championship match. But Master Wato, Best of Super Juniors 30 winner, going up against the ace of the Junior Heavyweights, Hiromu Takahashi. And this one was just so well paced in how it was escalating throughout the matchup. We got some back and forth where both guys were fighting on the floor. They were kind of going wild, where they had like a nice kind of fast start to this one. Hiromu managed to establish a lead before landing a suplex on the entrance ramp on Wato. Wato was flying around, hitting some big dives to the outside. In the ring, Wato continued to make advances, securing his nice Vendamal kind of submission, and on a few occasions he looked like he was about to put Hiromu away until Hiromu was able to get to the ropes. Hiromu reversed one of Wato's dives into a big suplex, resetting the flow. From there, both men were trading advantage off and on, with Hiromu mostly taking control throughout the different exchanges. You had Wato trying for multiple quick pins. Eventually, he hit Resentamente for a great near fall. Then he hit his big German suplex for another great near fall that was very, very close, because this German suplex was his main finisher throughout the Best of Super Juniors, and the crowd were just getting louder and louder. This one going nearly 20 minutes in this one. Hiromu kind of had the late flurry where he went for the big time bomb at one point, and Wato was able to kick out. He was able to hit the Hiromu bomber and then finish him up with the time bomb too for the 1, 2, 3. This one was excellent. Just an excellent matchup. Wato really showing himself, and he's just put together kind of 4 of the best matches of his career, 3 of the best matches of his career, from the matchup against Speedball Mike Bailey in the semis, the 5-star matchup against Teton, and then here I thought this was a near 5-star matchup. I give it 4 3/4 stars. Wato is a star, and he's gonna eventually make himself a grandmaster when he becomes the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. But this Hiromu reign needed to continue. This is V5 for Hiromu, as he's still on the quest for the 12 successful title defense, the record. And Hiromu Takahashi, honestly, in my eyes, he's a Wrestler of the Year candidate. He's had a phenomenal year, winning the Junior Heavyweight Championship at Wrestle Kingdom, the fantastic match with Yo at New Beginning, another superb matchup with Leo Rush in the New Japan Cup final, the great matchup with Robbie Eagles at Sakura Genesis, another great one with Kanemaru, and this was arguably his best title defense, right up there with the Leo Rush match with Wato here. So Hiromu's putting together quite a 2023, only halfway through. J News, what did you think about Hiromu versus Wato here?
I thought it was fantastic, man. I thought it was fantastic. My young boy, Master Wato, doing things that we knew he could eventually do. But I was right. This is what the show is about. I was right.
Jamie's just keeping tally. He's like, I don't care how good it is. I am on the roll here.
I'm not wrong here. He took another. He gained the experience. He gained more knowledge. Hopefully, it becomes sage wisdom for him in his future, so that he can ultimately become the Grandmaster and future IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. But he needed more adversity. He will continue to go through adversity before he reaches that mountaintop. And man, but this match was tremendous, bro. There's just no way around it. It's like he leveled up out of nowhere in a sense, right? Especially through Best of Super Juniors, just now here in Dominion and stuff like that. And Hiromu being Hiromu, man. I don't know how Hiromu gets to his 12 defenses. I hope that he does, because you can stand to do too many repeat matches. You can't stand to do that. So I don't know who will be challengers for him going forward. But
give me a speedball rematch. Give me my speedball rematch. I wouldn't mind them completing the trilogy with him and Leo, since Leo beat him in the Best of Super Juniors. So that's 2 more. And then Teton and him had a hell of a banger as well on the block finals. So that's another third. Darby. Yeah, we got Ninja Mortis saying Orange Cassidy. No. We're not getting no Orange Cassidy before we get Darby Allin. Me and Sonal been wanting the Darby Allin Hiromu. If there's 2 guys that put their body on the line more than Hiromu and Darby Allin, they haven't been made in wrestling yet. We don't know about them yet, because these are the 2 guys that risk their bodies, and that would be the perfect opener for a Forbidden Door show.
I cannot disagree with that at all. Darby versus Hiromu, definitely something I would look forward to as well. Man, I just don't. I want him to make it to the 12. Just understanding how he makes it there is really more or less my concern, right? It's just too many rematches to me. Kind of like it'll put a downer on it in a sense. But I also understand it's going to take quite a bit amount of time to build up other competitors. So the rematches will probably be the best way to go. But we'll see how it goes down. But big props to Watto, man. He took a couple of steps up the staircase. He's not even halfway there. But you know, he's not on the landing. He's not on the landing anymore. So we'll see how it goes into the future.
He was almost there. He was climbing up the steps, and then he came down the steps a few. But hell of a performance here. Sonal, what did you think, Watto versus Hiromu?
There's going to be a spoiler for the end of the thing, but I won't say anyway. Match of the night for me, Watto is the guy for me, because I feel like there are a few of us, and like this podcast is one of them, who have always championed Watto. We've always seen his potential when other people haven't. And while Hiromu did great, this was yet another match, and I'll say it with the main event. Watto shined the most. Hiromu might have won, but Watto shined. It was something as simple as at the start, the crowd started chanting Hiromu almost by instinct until they were like, wait, Watto is our boy, he's our homeboy. And then they changed to the Watto chants, and it's very quickly became natural because Watto was giving us everything that we know he can do. I remember when he came back from CMLL, and my boy, he was botching left, right, and center. It just like, it's almost like he'd lost some of that training from the New Japan Dojo, but now it feels like he's putting everything together. I don't think I've seen a massive botch for him in what seems like forever. Yeah. And he is combining charisma and his talent, and God, like, I was just so happy watching this match. I was like, yeah, Hiromu is one, that's not a thing, but for me, seeing how much Watto has come, and that obviously it should have been the semi-main event, but it didn't because of changes. But I feel like if that was in the semi-main event, Watto would have proven that he can do it. He's proven that he can main event smaller shows. He is now he could have semi-main evented probably the second biggest show. Watto, honestly, I couldn't be prouder of him. We are on the way to the Grandmaster.
Yeah, I just think Watto, he needs to be the next guy. That's the next guy that New Japan needs to make, because he's just had such the journey since re-debuting in New Japan here. But next up, You said this one was your match of the night, but the starkest contender to that opinion, so now came in our next match. Never open weight 6-man tag team championships up for grabs as Chaos's Kazuchika Okada, Tomohiro Ishii, and Hontai's Hiroshi Tanahashi, the champions, defended against the Blackpool Combat Club's Jon Moxley and the debuting Claudio Castagnoli, along with Shota Umino. Big pop for these three men, and this was changed to the semi-main event because Claudio Castagnoli was dealing with a lot of travel issues due to a typhoon, which caused him to be late arriving to the building. They wanted to give him more time to make it to the building, so it went from the 7th match on the card to the 8th match on the card, and I think that this match wouldn't have been out of place in the damn main event. Like, I don't know how any match was able to follow up this one, because this is the New Japan way of doing trios matches. You don't get a lot of intricate kind of triple teams and stuff like that. You get a series of some great singles matches. So we got Claudio starting out with Hiroshi Tanahashi, which got a big response from the fans, and then the level of intensity in this match picked up even more when Jon Moxley, who I would say is the MVP of this damn matchup. Moxley was just, he's a mixture of Tomohiro Ishii meets Bruiser Brody when he's in a New Japan ring. Like, he has that level of grit and intensity and fighting spirit that we usually see from an Ishii. So him and Ishii going at it just gave us flashbacks of their classic in the G1 Climax. And Ishii, oh my God, one of the nastiest headbutts I think I've ever seen, where he was like an arm's length away from Moxley, jumps right into this man's skull and it busts him open. Oh my God. I was like, this match is so fucking awesome. Then you get Claudio doing the swing on Okada. You had the Okada and Shooter rivalry continuing, with Shooter trying to get Okada into the ring and Okada being pissed off at him. Loved their rivalry, and it got even better in this matchup. Everything's breaking down. You get signature offense from everybody involved. Then you get the Shield Bomb by the BCC, where Shooter is playing the role of Roman Reigns, which I thought was just great. And it just looked like every single time it was Okada and Shooter in the ring, Okada had his number. Every time Shooter felt like he was running wild on Okada and he would look for the Death Rider, Okada would reverse him or cut him off with the drop kick. Eventually, it was Shooter who went for the Death Rider, but Okada was able to reverse it into the Cobra Flosion and then hit the Rainmaker for the 1, 2, 3. This was an absolute incredible matchup, a level of intensity and crowd participation that no other match on this card, I think, had, where it was just so much star power in the ring. And then you had Shota Umino, who was probably the lesser of the 5 other stars in this ring, but he stepped up to the occasion and he did not look out of place in this one. Okada, Ishii, and Tanahashi retained the championships, but then after the match, we get the cherry on top of this freaking classic trios match, probably the best trios match we've seen in New Japan history, as Jon Moxley gets on the mic and he says that the 3 guys in the ring, a lot of people say is the best wrestlers in the world, but they say that him and Claudio trained with the best wrestler in the world, and he has a message. So we get Bryan Danielson going up a damn mountain, and he says for about 10 years he's heard how great you are, Kazuchika Okada. Well, he says that you have faced the best of the best, but he's the best wrestler in the world, and they call you the Rainmaker. Well, when you're in the ring with me, you're in the fucking desert and it ain't no rain. He challenges him to go 1-on-1, and Okada answers in the ring by saying the forbidden door would be open and he would see him there. It is on. Okada, Dragon, Forbidden Door 2. Forbidden Door 2 might have just already topped Forbidden Door 1, which was one of the shows of the year in 2022, with 2 matches made, the 4 best wrestlers in the world in this 2 epic dream matches. Oh, I can't wait. We're 20 days away. Sonal, J News, we're 20 days away. Sonal, what did you think about this trios match? BCC, Chaos going at it again, never open weight 6-man tag team titles, and then, of course, the post match with Dragon challenging Okada.
I'm going to quickly go on to the post-match comments of this because I watched it with my mum earlier and she couldn't stop laughing. Where Moxley basically said that Okada was like messing with the visa people. He was like, we have our green cards, we can come here now, but Okada has been messing with the visa people, and I just want to point out that was absolutely hilarious. But the match itself, again, like, I was gutted that Wato and Hiromu got downgraded, but this was phenomenal. Like, I didn't realize how much I needed Moxley and Ishii in the ring together because, goddamn, that was brutal. I will say, and this links up some nice with the G1, Tana was not looking his best. I've seen Tana looking much better, and that was my only grievance with it. It felt like he was just like his knees were going to give up on him on any moment, and.
But everybody was selling for him very well. And I didn't give a star rating because I was talking about that post-match match. I gave it 4 3/4 stars. This is another one that was near 5 stars, but I do agree with Sonal that if Tanahashi was looking a lot healthier, I think this is a 5-star matchup. But 4 3/4 stars. This was, like it's saying in the chat here as well, Valabi saying the greatest never 6-man title match. 100% it was.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there was so many amazing interactions. Okada continued his thing with Shota, and everything just worked in the ring together. I was a bit upset that we didn't see any development on whether Shota could be a BCC member, because I think we've said it in the past, he doesn't suit it. His dad might kill him. Oh, also, I did bring up that this match was the battle of Shota's dads. We had Shota's real dad, Shota's lookalike dad, and then Shota's adopted dad, and then someone sent me a gif of Mamma Mia. I don't know if anyone's ever watched the film, but it's basically about a girl who doesn't know her dad and sends letters to 3 men who could be her dad. It gave me that vibes. But yeah, the match itself was great. And then to have Bryan Danielson and the crowds chanting, yes, yes, yes. God, Forbidden Door is going to be something special.
Oh my god, I can't wait for Forbidden Door. The fucking dragon versus the Rainmaker. J News, what did you think about the Never 6-Man championship bout? And what did you think about Dragon challenging Okada?
Well, the bout itself was one of the greatest 6-man tag team matches I had ever seen. I remember I made this comment maybe 2 years ago when the Chaos members of Bishamon and Ishii were working against, I believe it was a Bullet Club team at that particular point in time, where, man, they tore the freaking house down in that 6-man tag team chat. But this one here, man, it really took the cake. And to say the least, Shota Umino is a star, bro. Shota Umino is a freaking star. He's no one's freaking baby. He's not he at the end of the day, he doesn't need to be punked around. He is definitely a star in New Japan Pro Wrestling and across the wrestling landscape, man. The kid's gonna take some time to bubble up. He will have other matches against other contenders, but we're looking forward to whatever one-on-one matchup he has with Okada in the future. As for King Kong Moxley, let me say something about this man here, man. There comes a point in time where I watch enough AEW TV to understand what Jon Moxley means to the wrestling landscape, right? What he's been able to do, his transition from WWE to outside of the WWE, AEW, indie wrestling here in New Japan, has been one of the greatest transitions I've seen since, I'll say it, Cody Rhodes. And at the end of the day, he's really defined who Jon Moxley is all these years later. And for him to come across the way that he did in this match, and him and Ishii can fight forever. I don't give a crap. That just give me that violence that they bring to each other.
Since it's not Moxley and Okada, give me Ishii versus Moxley too at Forbidden Door.
That was pouring very early on in that match. God.
Because I literally put my head down for a second while I was watching the match, and SP3 was like, yeah, man, Ishii did a flying headbutt. And I was like, that's how he got busted open. I was like, because I didn't see that. Because when I picked my head back up, all I saw was that Boxy was bleeding. I was like, wait.
He literally was like right here, and Ishii just went. Like it was just like I was like, oh my god.
Oh my god, that was tremendous. That's tremendous to know. But at the end of the day, I wanted to see how Claudio would be in a New Japan ring and how he would look across from all these other wrestlers. I really want to see a strong style match between him and Ishii. I really want to see if Tana gets time off to heal up, to get some rest. That I think would be a terrific match. Claudio versus Tana 1-on-1. And obviously you put Claudio Castagnoli in a ring against the Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada, it'll just burn the entire building down. So, I think that what they were able to do in that match, do the one-on-ones and then do the team stuff and whatever the case is, the Shield Bomb was a good nod to the Tribal Chief. Because he needs to know that other people are still watching him. You understand what I'm saying? Because wait, we can't put the ones up no more because ain't no more ones. We ain't got no more ones.
Hey, he is the one. He's the one in 1,000.
So that's that was that for it. But to talk about the post match real quick, we've been waiting for this moment for God knows how long. Bryan Danielson cut a good promo. He was in his element. In the rocks, in the deserts of Arizona, where he lives. And he cut that promo and he challenged Kazuchika Okada to a match, and that's what we're going to get this year. And I'm not mad at it because I think we still have time for ZSJ versus Daniel Bryan. We still have time for that. But this match is the money match. So I think that if this is the main, I don't know if they'll make it the main event, but if this is the main event for Forbidden Door, if it starts with
I think they should. I think they should. It's either this or Omega and Ospreay. Because I think
Omega and Ospreay will be the top cat because in Canada as well, isn't it?
Yeah. I can see that one of those two matches because I don't see either Sanada or MJF having a challenger from either side that's going to be a bigger matchup than those two. So
yeah, they're gonna put Sanada and MJF in multi-man tag matches and they'll be opposing each other at some point in time. So
I could see that. Yeah. I could see that. If you do Sanada in a championship matchup, it would probably have to be Jericho. And Jericho's coming off 2 losses. But yeah.
I don't see that happening.
I mean, I did put out Hangman Page.
But he's the baby face.
It's a match I want to see just because that's what. Like when Hangman Page was in New Japan, I was like obsessed with Hangman Page. I think their styles work well together. They're both
they do.
Big and strong, but also very athletic. So that again,
I want Hangman and Shingo. I'm sorry, I want Hangman.
I mean, if you watch my video of my nonsense dream card, that was that. I think if anything is going to happen, but yeah, I don't feel like Sanada or MJF are going to have a match to outrival those two. So why give them a title match at all?
Yeah,
I think that MJF's promos, especially from the post Double or Nothing media scrum, point to if he is going to have a championship match, it would be against Tanahashi because he said the line. It was like, not even their greatest legend could lace my boots. Right. Who's the greatest legend in New Japan? It's Tanahashi.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it, but Tana can't. I mean, he's gonna need the next 3 weeks off.
He should be one, in my opinion. He needs more than a few weeks off.
Exactly, man. Like that's not cool. But at the end of the day, Bryan Danielson, Kazuchika Okada, Forbidden Door, give me all that. I'm ready for it. We're probably gonna get a BCC versus Chaos match, somewhere in there. So give me some more of that. Yeah, man. Everything is shaping up really, really well. I like the video package. So it worked out, man. It definitely worked out.
Great promo by Bryan to set that up. But let's get to the main event, which I know Jay News has been wanting to talk about for this whole video.
Is it not just to brag? Is it not just to say, I told you so, SP3?
Sanada versus Yota.
Yota Tsuji. I'm not going to brag. You know why I'm not going to brag? Because it's 2-1. I am not the only Sonata fan in this chat right now. So,
I mean, SP3 lead me to say, you know what, I'd love to see Tsuji win, but at the heart, it's always been Team Sonata, always Team Cold Skull.
there it is.
SANADA defending the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against the newest Los Ingobernables de Japón member, Yota Tsuji. Yota Tsuji came out to a big reaction from the fans, and the fans seemed like they were on my side of things, and they wanted to see the Tsuji shock here. We get an opening sequence where it's like a little bit of a struggle for control. Then we get SANADA, he fights back, and he eventually goes for a leapfrog. And my man Yota Tsuji spears this man out of his boots and then does a damn Fosbury flop. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. And that's when these fans were just like, oh, they were on the Yota. The Yota chants were coming in. SANADA eventually interrupted another spear with a big knee. And then his first bit of offense was really like the skull end, where he was looking to put Tsuji away before he can overwhelm him even more. SANADA let go of the skull end and went for the moonsault, but Yota was able to block it with his knees. Yota and SANADA started trading some big old strikes exchanges, and they were chopping the hell out of each other. There was some stiff chops between these two guys. SANADA was using his speed to try to get the advantage, did some high flying, a plancha to the outside. Tsuji pulls out a damn young lion Boston Crab and transition it into a grab in the arm, so it's like a numero dos type of Boston Crab at the same time.
Numero dos, my friend. La campana. Say it right, brother. La campana. That's the bell right there.
You already said it. I don't need to say it. Tsuji went for a damn moonsault at one point, but he misses, which buys SANADA some time, an opportunity to recover. He gets some offense in. They strike exchange again with some big old chops again. Yota cuts off SANADA with a trip, and then he gets a big old stomp to the head. Then eventually hits a big running curb stomp for a near fall. He goes for a spinning bomb for a near fall at one point. After nearly winning the matchup, Yota lifts SANADA to the top rope and hits a damn Spanish fly. I was like, this man has the coolest moveset in the world. SANADA tries to go for the deadfall, but Yota's able to get out of it. One time doing a damn cartwheel. He did a damn cartwheel out of the deadfall. I was like, stop the match right now. Stop the match. This man's the GOAT. Both times Yota avoids it. He hits a big leaping headbutt for a near fall. SANADA answers Yota's advances with the moonsault. Then he goes for the shining wizard. He's able to one is blocked, and then he's able to hit another one, but he tries to go for the deadfall, but is able to reverse. But then Yota goes for the spear. He cuts him off with a big drop kick. He hits the shining wizard, and then he transitions into the deadfall for the 1, 2, 3. Once again, a New Japan Pro Wrestling main event goes less than 20 minutes. This goes 17 minutes and change, and SANADA retains the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. After the match, SANADA gets on the mic and he hypes up Yota, saying that he needs to get himself together and come back and challenge him again. He was very impressive. LIJ walks out on Tsuji. It looks like they walk out on Tsuji as SANADA tells the Young Lions to help him to the entranceway where LIJ is waiting for him, and they gave him the fist bump before he goes through the curtain as Just Five Guys celebrates with SANADA. And SANADA says he's gonna win the G1 and alludes to saying that he's gonna make his own challenge for Wrestle Kingdom, and he alludes to Taichi being the man that he's gonna face at Wrestle Kingdom if he wins the G1. I thought this match was tremendous. This was a tremendous main event and an amazing performance from Yota Tsuji. I love the story of the matchup being that SANADA basically had the one move that he was ready for was the spear. He caught him early with the spear, but he was never able to hit the spear again. He had different counters for the spear throughout the matchup, and eventually when he went for the big one at the end, he caught him with the drop kick, and then it was pretty much over from there. But he was not ready for any of the other offense from Yota Tsuji because he didn't know what the offense was because he's been gone since making his re-debut at Wrestling Dontaku. Just a chef's kiss type of story to this matchup. I give it 4.5 stars. J News, your time to brag. SANADA retains the title.
Man, oh man, oh man. Can I just say that outside of the fact that Yota Tsuji is a star, I said he was a star when he was in black trunks and black boots. That young man is an innovator in that ring. All props to him. I want to see him hold gold wherever he goes. Don't get that twisted. It's just not the right time as of yet. Brother, there's going to be a match where he's going to bust out the Sasuke special and people are going to lose their shit. You know what I'm saying?
Gato is a damn coward. Damn coward. Should strap the rocket to him right now.
But I'll say this, man. I'll say this. He's up to no good. Tsuji's up to no good, son. That smile of his, he's up to no good.
Yo, he legit smiles from cheek to cheek.
Can I say, he actually has been using that smile since he was in the UK. So even on his excursion, like I remember when I saw him for the first time while he was on excursion, he was facing Shota, and this smile never left his face. So I think it's going to become a thing of his because he's
just happy to be there. He's just happy to be there. He has this big ass Cheshire grin, and it's like, all right, yeah, he's just happy to be in the ring. He's happy to wrestle. But like a part of me still feels like he's up to no good. But like, there's the dude. He's electric, man. He's electric. He's a walking piece of charisma. What he can do in the ring, what he can do outside of the ring, dude. The freaking press conference for Dominion. Shit. Like, this man owned that shit. He owned it, bro. I was like, yo, wait a minute, man. Yo, Yota Tsuji, brother, you on pace. You on pace, man. Don't worry about it. You're gonna get gold. Gold is in your future. Don't worry about it. But I gotta talk about my main man. I gotta talk about SANADA. Because at the end of the day, the rightful person won this match. This man oozes all you want from a babyface champion. And at the end of the day, that is who won. Who will be his next competitor? God knows. But at the end of the day, it's not going to matter. He is going to continue to get better in these main event matches as he did here. Because he played the card of the grizzled veteran, where he made Yota Tsuji hit all this shit. He made Yota Tsuji look like $1 million, but at the end of the day, Yota Tsuji was a little bit in over his head. He was a little bit over eager. And so SANADA took advantage of that. He was able to get the win in this matchup here. So all I got to say is, SANADA, keep doing your thing, man. I want to see SANADA get to Wrestle Kingdom 17. I want to see that SANADA versus Naito match. And if Naito wins, albeit it gives SANADA a long enough reign, gives Naito his Wrestle Kingdom moment, and we take it there for what we would call the present generation, and then let somebody from the new generation then go on and feud with Naito in the future. That's just me hypothetically speaking into the future. But yeah, man, SANADA, I don't know who's going to be his next contender, but hopefully just better matches and better overall quality in that sense. And yeah, man, he is the face of New Japan Pro Wrestling, brother. That is a fact of life. Gotta say that. Yeah, man, and I called it. So I gotta say that. That's how I'm gonna end it. So.
SPC rolling his eyes. He's like,
Gato's a coward. That's all I gotta say. Gato's a damn coward. Sonal, what did you think about SANADA versus Yota Tsuji?
I'm like on the J News and both of you saying that while because I've said this, Tsuji was the star of the show, but that was down to SANADA. SANADA played his role perfectly. Everyone knows he's an amazing wrestler. Everyone knows he's champion, but it was him who allowed Tsuji to look that dominant. He sold everything. He battled it, and it was this whole story that this is the first time that someone's had a huge title match without knowing anything. When Okada came back before the Rainmaker shock, he had a few weeks of warm-up matches with Tana for Tana to sort of scout it. The big thing for Sanada was Sanada has no idea what Tsuji's going to do. I mean, hell, I've been watching him on Excursion. I didn't know what to expect. Like, my guy was like, 1 minute he was a heavyweight, then he was a junior heavyweight, then he was a luchador, then he was a Japanese wrestler. I was like, what is going on? But it's clear. I think I saw someone in the comments say, Tsuji looks like a villain you want to root for. And that's exactly what LIJ is. They are tweeners. They are the villains in many cases, but you want them to win. And that's why I think Tsuji works perfectly with LIJ, not just because of his style, but who he is. And by God, I'm so happy Sanada won. But Tsuji will be holding a title at some point sooner rather than later, whether it is singles or whether my dream for a Shingo and Tsuji tag team comes to fruition.
Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see that. But I'm gonna put this into the ether. I want to manifest this. Yota Tsuji for AEW International Champion. Book it.
Yes.
Once we're circling to get there first, but maybe in the future. Yeah, we could do that. We could do that. But yes, top to bottom, man, this was an amazing show. So sound off in the live chat. Give us your thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. Out of 10, what did you give the show? Your match of the night, MVP and LVP. For us, let's put our thumbs in the middle for NJPW Dominion 2023 in 3, 2, 1. Very easily. Thumbs up all around from all of us. Unanimous. So now, out of 10, what did you give the show?
9. I feel like it's almost impossible to give it a 10. Like, I would never give anything a 10. I don't think I have given anything a 10. It was phenomenal. Like, I can't fault it, but I also can't give it full marks because I feel like that would be near perfection and stuff like that. But honestly, amazing. Like, everyone was there who needed to be there. The storytelling, it built up for things. It got us excited. Well done, Gato. Even though you're a coward, according to SP3.
Coward. You cowardice, Kato. So you're not getting a 10 out of 10 from me. But I might go 9.5. I don't know if I'll go down to 9, but yeah, I think I might go 9.5 because nothing on this show was bad as far as the matches. Everything got above 3 stars or more, with multiple matches getting 4 stars or more. Like, yeah, this was probably my favorite show of the year so far. Maybe it's recency bias, but there's been a lot of great shows from wrestling in general this year, but this might have been my favorite. What did you think, J News, out of 10?
Out of 10. I'm going to join the party. 9.5 stars out of 10, 9.5 out of 10. Like I said, the right man won the main event. That 6-man never open weight tag team match, bruh. What is there to say? That other young man wearing the blue, he is on his way to being the Grandmaster. He has shown us, the New Japan faithful, that he can. It's just a matter of when, not if, but when. Yeah, man, and like you said, man, there was no bad matches at all. I got to go back and watch all the post-match stuff, all the post-show stuff, to see as to what was said and how things are going to be developing into the future, and things of that nature. The Bullet Club stuff I thought was good, to be honest, man. The growth of it, the expansion of it, just the characterization of the LA Dojo guys and them coming to the forefront and whatnot. And Dan Maloney joining, obviously, which was a shocker, and that part of it, you know, is just it calls for. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on, man. There's gonna be a lot of interesting stuff going on. So definitely a 9.5 out of 10 for me here. Yota Tsuji, bro. One of these days I'll see you live, and I want to shake your hand. That's all I want.
Can I say, I met him, and he thought I wanted to take pictures, and he was like, "Oh, we're not allowed to take pictures." But he is genuinely a very nice guy, very like He's very big because obviously I'm quite small. I'm a 5'1", and he is like a behemoth of a man. But he's genuinely very sweet. But also, before I want to say, on the post-match comments, Hiromu said something about an opponent with the initial K.
Well, from where? Oh, okay. We gotta.
He was so vague. I was trying to go through the name, but that's what, because I know that Janu said he hasn't like watched all the post match, but yeah, that's what Hiromu has got, and who that is, I don't know. Which company, I don't know.
We shall see. We shall see. What was your match of the night, Sonal?
I'm gonna have to, because I know other people can match. I'm gonna have to give love to Hiromu and Wato, because just to see how far Wato has come, and again, a match of a completely different pace to everything that Hiromu has done. The juniors are the reason that I got into New Japan. The Best of Super Junior 2018 was the first full tournament I watched, and the reason that I bought a subscription. So yeah, to see them flourish and to see a new face winning the Best Super Junior and getting the title shot, yeah, it was great.
J News.
I share the sentiment, son. I have to back Wato, as Gino likes to say, Wato.
Well, was it Robbie who was like, because Robbie was live tweeting throughout it, and I think he actually called out Gino for saying it wrong.
That's just the way he says Wato. So
Wato.
That's the way Wato. A big props to the commentary, man. Gino Gambino, as always, man, being as hilarious as he can be. Adding to it, Kevin Kelly just doing what Kevin Kelly does nowadays. I think he's changed so much in the last year or so for me mentally, because I've always hated Kevin Kelly, but at the end of the day, I've come around to him, and the third guy, Chris Stewart, I think his name is
Chris Carlton.
So Chris Carlton, my bad. Chris Carlton, he's always adding the stats and the facts and the factoids in there. So that commentary was great. But for me, match of the night, man, Wato versus Hiromu. For me, it was just the ups and downs. There was a point in the match where I actually thought Wato was gonna win, dog. Wato was gonna win. I was like, bro, they're really doing it. They're gonna pull the plug. Then it didn't do it.
That definitely had me at certain points, I will say. I kind of want to give it co-match of the night, but I'll be different and I will just go Shooter and BCC versus Chaos and Tanahashi. That match, the greatest never openweight 6-man tag team title match of all time. So I got to give that love for match of the night. MVP for the show, Tsuji. It's Tsuji. It's motherfucking Tsuji. Gato, you fucking coward. So now, who's your MVP?
It's Wato Mania. I do love Tsuji shine, but I feel like in a sense, again, and me and Jay News have said it, Tsuji has always been a star. Everyone has known it since he was in trunks. Wato, even bless him as a young lion, he was a bit weedy and his little hair with his fringe and stuff. He just wasn't appealing. Like, I guess maybe it gives us hope that Yota Nakajima could do some miraculous thing, but he has come on so far, and I'm gonna give props that I think a lot of it was when he was teaming with Taguchi. Then now he has got the style, the charisma. I still want him to change the ring gear. I feel like we can improve slightly there. But the personality, the ring style, his presence, that class of New Japan just smashing it now, and yeah, wow.
They are.
Yeah,
J News, sure. MVP.
Who is the MVP of tonight? Yeah, you know what, man? I'll second the notion, SP3. Tsuji, the big Tsuji, is the MVP. Man, like Sonal was saying, I've always said the dude was a star, but at the end of the day, what SANADA was able to do for Tsuji in that match, to me, was like, he was just giving it back, bro. And to me, it's like, that's what a champion's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like Ric Flair all those years ago. If people don't watch Ric Flair championship matches from all those years ago, all Ric Flair was doing was giving it back. And for SANADA to do that for Tsuji, being Tsuji's first match back since from Excursion, and him looking that good in a title match like that, bro, like, And Tsuji, man, bro, I need mic time with Tsuji. I need a Tsuji promo. I need I need more Tsuji suits. I need more Tsuji press conferences. I need it all.
We need a Tsuji hair care commercial. God, his locks when he's like
Oh
whips
my
it
god,
back.
yes. He has to pull back the hair.
Yeah,
It looks
exactly.
amazing. It's
Yeah,
amazing
man.
meme. And of course, LVP, it's Gato. Gato, you fucking coward. You coward. You had one job. Make one of these former young lions, either Watto or Tsuji, and you did neither. You're a coward. You're the LVP. J News.
Oh man, I was gonna second your notion, but I think that I'm gonna fall hard, and I think this is the second or third time I've done that this year alone. It's Tanahashi for me, bro.
Ooh.
He's not looking good at all, and it was cool to see the lockup between him and Claudio, but like it just kind of all fell short for me after that when it came to Tana. And yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know. It's just it's and I understand he's getting older. I understand the injuries are mounting up. Just take some time off, man. Just that's all I'm asking. I'm not asking you to retire. I'm not asking you to do anything out of your wits end. I'm just take some time off, heal up, maybe shed some pounds because that might help. Just from a professional perspective, that might help. But yeah, that's all, man. I can't. Tana's LVP for me in this instance.
I think what Jay News is saying, because yes, he's getting a bit older, but it's like we said this. You compare people the same age. Kanemaru's the same age.
Mhm.
Taguchi's around the same age. They're both juniors as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They are still in 100% better condition. And I feel like, yeah, Jay News. I think Tanahashi makes an ongoing joke about his weight, but I really do think if he slims down, it would really benefit him.
Yeah. It's not oh like Tanahashi's fat or something. Like no, it's more for overall health reasons and stuff like that. It'll help him move better. It'll help him, at the end of the day, have a better style of life and things of that nature. So that's really more or less what the point I'm trying to make in that estimation. So yeah, man, I just want to see. I know I'm not going to get old Tana anymore. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I don't want him to look that old at an age where he can still do things that he could be doing. You know what I'm saying? Like RVD was wrestling at that age, still moving like he was 35. You know what I'm saying? And I understand different lifestyles, different types of wrestling. But at the end of the day, it's like there's things to maneuver and things he can do better and change. And hopefully he gets on the ball with that.
Should smoke more weed, I guess, if you want him to move like RVD. Sonal, so you're going with with Tanahashi as LVP as well?
No, because I always have a soft spot for Tanahashi. I just want to say a special mention for MVP is Yo and his skateboard. That's just a special mention. Special mention. Yujiro. I feel like it's like I was gonna say show, but like he wasn't actually in a match, so I can't say that. I'm gonna say Yujiro. Like, yes, I praise the performance, but it's just I'm just glad Yujiro's not in the G1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we can all be thankful for that. But yes, if you're watching this on demand, let us know in the comments down below your match of the night, MVP, LVP, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, and what you gave the show out of 10. We want to thank Sonal, as always, for joining us for these big shows. I guess the next time we could extend the invite is for the G1 Climax or Forbidden Door. If you want to join us for the Forbidden Door review, you could do that as well.
I will be watching it live at God knows what time in the UK.
More power to you. I can only imagine. I know I can imagine because I did do that when I was out in the UK watching those pay-per-views that start at 1 a.m. I appreciate you so much more. But Sonal, please let the people know where they can follow you on social media, your YouTube channel, and everything you got going on.
So yeah, you can find me on YouTube at Sonal's Life. I literally yesterday posted the review of Dominion. You can find me at wrestling_chat on Twitter. I basically, apart from the Best Super Junior final when I was in Italy, I basically live tweet through all the big shows, especially if they're on the weekend. And remember, me and SP3 and NK are on Ace Techers, and you can find us there on Wrestle In as well.
Absolutely. We'll be back with Ace Techers next week. We're doing our latest episode, so check that out over on WrestleIn.com. J News, let the people know where they can follow you, sir.
People, ladies and gentlemen, this is I, the good brother J News. Where can you follow me? Right here on the True Heel Heat Wrestling channel. Also, you can follow me on the Instagram _JONJY. As I always say, I like to interact with my folks. So please keep it kosher. You know what I'm saying? And things should always be okay on the socials. I'm not sure as to whenever the next New Japan type recording is going to be between me and SP3. He'll let me know. But
well, if you want, if you're free later this or at least before Friday, we got All Together again coming up on Friday. So
because All Together's on Friday, right?
Yep.
Okay. I guess we can do a preview. Damn, because it's gonna be Friday morning.
Yes.
Jesus. Wednesday.
We'll figure that
we can
out.
do it Wednesday.
There we go.
We can do it Wednesday. There you go. So All Together preview coming Wednesday to a True Heel Heat stream near you. We probably have to do a G1 preview somewhere down the line. So looking forward to that. Yes. Independence Day preview reviews. Those are coming down the line as well. Forbidden Door. You know I'm going to be here for that Forbidden Door, people. You know I'm going to be here for that. So that's all that I have. I think I've worn out my welcome here at this space where I'm at currently. So I got to get moving. Folks, I'm not home, as you can see.
Got the nice pictures in the background. You got to get out of there, folks. But yes, follow him _JONJAY. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at True Hill Heat. And hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. Check out my latest interview for True Heels BTR Between the Ropes with Bobby Fish, former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champion. We talk about his time in New Japan, talk about his time in ROH, WWE, AEW. So check that out right now on the YouTube channel. Coming up later this week, we got my the Best of Super Juniors 30 best matches list, top 10 best matches from the tournament that closed up last week. Speaking of which, check out our review of the Best of the Super Juniors 30 final with myself. Scott Edwards made a run-in for that one. Check out the True Hill Heat flagship podcast from this past Saturday with myself, True Jaw Josh, and Mike from Indeed. Check out Serving Face and Heels from yesterday with Miss Chrissy Love and Stephanie Hypes. And join us live here tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Rated Raw Superstars watching Monday Night Raw. Want to thank Sonal, thank J News, thank all of you in the live chat. We appreciate all the love, all the support. Remember to drop the thumbs up on the video, share with your friends, and subscribe if you are new. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been our NJPW Dominion 2023 Roundtable Review. We are signing off until